Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Lakeland Laker Football on LaguanaMedia.com. This is Jerry Hosteller along with former Laker football coach Keith Thompson. And tonight we're coming to you from Laker Field in LaGrange, where the Lakeland Lakers, under their new head coach Ryan O'Shea, open their 2020 campaign versus the Wawasee Warriors, who are led by second-year head coach John Reedabout. Both teams are coming off 2-8 2019 seasons and are looking to get off to a good start as they kick off the new season on the gridiron. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following organizations and businesses. LaGrange Church of God, located on North Detroit Street in LaGrange. Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty. They sell earth and everything on it. By Intera Credit Union, with their branch in LaGrange opening soon. Also by Fur May Funeral Home, helping you to honor the cherished memory of your departed loved one. By Lakeland Realty. When you're ready to sell your home, call broker Trent Curtis at 260-350-4477. Also by Ripcord Media Production. They are storytellers and they want to tell your story. By Coldwell Banker, the real estate group, and Noel Frost Broker. Call Noel at 260-585-4112. And our platinum and halftime sponsor is Superior Rigging and Erecting. See owners and former Laker alums and athletes Scott Harshberger and Jared Weimer for your next building project. They love serving their community and always hold a special place in their hearts for Lakeland athletics. Coach Thompson and I will be back to talk about the upcoming game tonight as we open up the 2020 high school football season here at Lakeland High School. We'll be back right after this timeout.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty is a full-service auction and real estate company serving northern Indiana and Michigan. We offer our clients years of combined experience, honesty, and trust, which gives you results.
At 1600, I am 15 now, but I'm on the game, but it gets 16. I'm going to get 25, 30, now 30, now 40, now 30, now 30, now 60, get down 25, 25, 35, 85, 75, 85, 75, 85.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty. We sell the earth and everything on it.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Jerry Hosteller with Keith Thompson, former head coach of the Lakeland Lakers. Last year being your last year, Keith. Now you're up here in the broadcast booth. The game's about ready to start. How does it feel?
Well, I tell you, the view's a lot better than down on the field. It's a little surreal at the moment. I don't think it's quite sunk in.
Right. Yeah, I would imagine you coached 15 years, was it? Or
well, I was the head coach for 15, and I was assistant for 17.
There you go. So you've been here. I mean, it's been a long time since you've not been down there in early or toward the. I guess
it's been a while.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while.
Now, this time of year, at least. So, well, congratulations on a great coaching career here at Lakeland. You had a winning record, 82 wins. And I suppose you have a lot of good memories about this football program and being down here.
Oh, it's who I am. I bleed Laker blue, and I love these kids, and a lot of people sitting in the stands are former players, and almost the entire coaching staff is former players. So that makes you feel good inside.
Yeah, when I was doing my homework for the ball game, I thought, boy, a lot of these names sound familiar, and yeah, they're former Lakers that are on the coaching staff, and that's good that they're staying at home and helping out their team.
And they're good men that give back to their community, and they're good for kids.
That's great. So we have a totally different year this year with the COVID going on and so on. So maybe in a way you're thinking, boy, I'm glad I didn't have to go through this and try to figure out practices and all that type of thing. You had a chance to talk to Coach O'Shea last night. Tell us a little bit about that and what your feelings about the team are this year.
Well, Coach O'Shea has a great family bloodline, and he's young and has a lot of ideas and very energetic, and I think he connects well with the players. The players seem to like him. So it's really going to be interesting to see what new things he brings too. Which is, I just didn't feel I had the energy anymore to do what needed to be done, and thought it was time to hand the keys to somebody else. So I'm kind of excited to see what Coach O'Shea does.
Yeah, he's a young guy, and like you said, the bloodlines run pretty deep there with football in their blood. And he's been at a few good schools and probably learned a lot from the coaching down at Lafayette Catholic, I believe, and then he was over at South Bend at St. Joe.
He was at St. Joe, and he was at Jimtown last 2 years.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, all good football programs. So he probably brings a lot to the table here at Lakeland High School.
It's always good to work with people who know what they're doing.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we got a beautiful night for football tonight. It's a warm evening, but not too humid yet. It's supposed to get more humid over the weekend, but do you like this kind of hot weather, or do you prefer the cooler weather later in the season?
Well, I don't like a lot of heat.
Yeah.
But this is actually a very good night for football in August. A little heat early on is good for the kids. It helps them get in shape and so forth. But I like those kind of cool, crisp September evenings. I don't like necessarily the 5-degree weather in October.
Yeah, I'm sure you'd take this over that any day, right? So, getting back to what we were talking about, as far as practices this year and so on, how did that differ? I know the kids couldn't get out here like they normally would in the summertime and to early practices and so on. So how were things different then?
Well, I don't know exactly what Coach O'Shea's plans will be next year, assuming everything is normal. But last season, last summer, we went to team camp at Manchester in June and scrimmaged 7 or 8 teams there. Went to a couple 7-on-7s. We were in a weight room 3 days a week for 2 hours a day, starting as soon as school. I think we actually started before school was out. Mm-hmm. So you went all through the month of June, working up to July and going through July with pads. We would drive down to South Adams, and we scrimmaged 3 teams down there in July.
So none of the scrimmaging went on this year at all?
None of that went on. They couldn't put pads on until the last week or 2 of July. Mm-hmm. So this is going to be quite different. Usually these kids have been going at this for all of June and all of July and all of August. And
well, you'd think that they wouldn't be quite in game shape. I mean, there had to be different ways of getting the kids in shape quicker, I guess.
Yeah, my assumption is we're going to see tonight that they're going to get tired pretty quick.
It'll be interesting to see. I mean, it's going to be that way on both sides. Wawasee, a 4A school, a little bit bigger school. Lakeland, of course, 3A. 2 conferences in the NECC. They've got the big and the little conference, and I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got Lakeland is in with, Fairfield,
Angola,
Prairie Heights.
West Noble.
That's right. They're in the big conference.
They're in the big conference.
Right.
Yeah, Eastside, Fremont, Central Noble, Prairie Heights. Probably forgetting somebody.
Speaking of Prairie Heights, I think you had their number when you were coaching here.
You don't like to lose to Prairie. To Prairie Heights.
Are we having a moment of silence here?
I think so.
Okay. We'll take a short break and we'll be right back. And that was for Mr. Kiesler. Is that what it was?
It might have been for the West Noble kid that was killed too. I don't know if they were doing one for. It would have been nice for Mr. Kiesler.
Make sure we did the commercial Are you running the commercial? Okay. We're back at Lakeland High School as we get ready for football here tonight in the opening game of the 2020 campaign. Good to have you aboard. Jerry Hostetler, along with Keith Thompson, former head coach of the Lakeland Lakers. So last year, you guys traveled down to Wawasee and played the Warriors down on their gridiron, and you were defeated down there. What do you look for in Wawasee this year? How was their team last year? And
Well, last year, they've been through a pretty rough stretch for the past several years. And last year, they did have 18 seniors, and we beat them pretty good the year before here.
yeah, I noticed that.
And,
Yeah.
I'm sure that they
Had a little revenge on their
they
mind.
weren't very happy about that. But they had 18 seniors last year, and we had graduated 18 seniors, and so I think we had 2 starters coming back on both sides of the ball. So we had a bunch of brand new kids playing their very first game, and I honestly thought at halftime we were going to pull that game off. And
that would have been a huge win on the road.
It just
NLC team. Yeah.
It just didn't work out. We did a lot of things at first year varsity starters, which we'll see a lot of those tonight because there's a lot of kids playing on a Friday night for the first time, and so then we went to Cherubusco, and here in Cherubusco is just good. So
yeah, they had a really good program in the last few years.
Many years. That's probably the best coach team in the conference.
Really,
them and Angola, but Cherubusco's been very consistent for the past 15 years.
Yeah, Angola's another tough one. How did you like opening the season with a team for the Northern Lakes Conference, a class higher than you guys? Is that a good way to open the season for you guys?
Yeah, you kind of mixed emotions in that, because my first several years we opened up with Prairie Heights, which you have all the other extracurricular stuff that goes with playing Prairie Heights, and so I didn't like that part. But we would routinely my first several years we would go 6-7-0, which did give those new kids an opportunity to get their feet under them and figure out a little bit about varsity football before you get to the Cherubuscos and so forth and Fairfields at the end of the season. Then on the other hand, they also started to think that they were better. Than they were.
That's true. You get overconfident.
The problem here is that we play a 4A school, then we play Cherubusco, and then game 4 we play Angola.
Another tough team.
So maybe those kids don't get the confidence. They see how to play varsity football,
right?
Because they're playing against very good people, but maybe they don't get the confidence. So I guess it's you have 2 sides of the coin there.
We'll take a look at the starting lineups for tonight's ball game. First of all, for the visiting team, we'll go with their offense first under Coach John Reedabook. Get it right here. They'll start at quarterback with Parker Young, a 5'10", 190-pound senior. Starting at the tailback position tonight will be number 20, Nathan Larson, a 6'even", 180-pound junior. One of the wide receivers will be number 6, Lucas Ringler, a 6'even", 160-pound junior. The other wide receiver will be Adam Beer, number 13. And he's 6'1" and 155-pound senior. If they start the national anthem, let me know.
Okay.
In the slot position will be number 11, Cam Salazar, a 5'6", 150-pound senior. The tight end position will be number 10, Zach Smith, a 6'3", 225-pound senior. Left tackle, Gage Morris, a 5'10", 200-pound senior. Left guard for Wawasee will be Justin Castro, number 74, 5'11", 230-pound senior. The center position will be Dryden Hernandez, a 6'2", 270-pound junior. The right guard will be Logan Mast, 6'2", 285-pound junior. Right tackle will be Quentin Spitzmacher, number 60, a 6'2", 230-pound junior. And the fullback tonight will be number 26, Dante Landeros, 6'even", 230-pound junior. Let's take a look at the Lakers offense as well. see how we do as far as time is concerned. I don't want to leave this out. At quarterback tonight will be Dion Marshall, who's replacing Colton Isaacs, who was ill today, and Coach and I will talk a little bit about that today, missed school. And we're going to have to pause for our national anthem, and then we'll continue with the Lakeland lineup.
Athletic Director Kyle Grossman and the students and staff of Lakeland Junior Senior High School, we welcome you to Laker Field for tonight's football matchup featuring our guests, the Wawasee Warriors, and your hosts, the Lakeland Lakers. Before we play the national anthem, our hearts go out to our less noble family with the passing of one of their students, Anthony Reyes. Anthony was a soccer player and wrestler. We ask that both Wawasee and Laker fans join together in a moment of silence in memory and honor of Anthony Reyes.
A moment of silence here is going to be observed for a student that passed away at West Noble High School.
Thank you. And now would you remain standing and remove your hats and visors as we honor America with the playing of our national anthem.
Man, we're getting set for football here at Lakeland High School as we complete the national anthem for tonight's ball game. I gave you the starting quarterback for Lakeland, Dion Marshall, just a sophomore and getting pressed into duty tonight with Colton Isaacs being out ill today, missed school. At tailback will be Cameron Malivan. Right? Wide receiver, one of them will be Braden Bontrager, 6'4", 225-pound senior, number 88. Another wide receiver, Cole Shifley, number 6, a 5'10", 145-pound junior. Another wide receiver, Mark Berlew, a 5'11", 150-pound junior, wears number 7. Tight end will be Kyle McBride, a 6'3", 210-pound senior. Left tackle, number 55, Evan Clark, a 5'10", 175-pound junior. At left guard will be number 59, Marcus Randall, a 5'8", 210-pound senior. At center tonight will be number 76, Jensen Miller, a 5'11", 255-pound junior. Right guard will be number 50, Japeth Dominguez, a 5'11", 220-pound sophomore. At right tackle will be number 75, Jaron Fry, big guy, 6'4", 270-pound senior. At fullback tonight for the Lakers will be number 26, Brock Marabes. Hopefully I'll get these all right by the end of the year, Coach. 5'11", 205-pound junior. And let's see, who won the toss down there, Coach?
Looks like the Lakers are receiving.
All right. So the Lakers will send back to return the kickoff, and that's going to be
Cameron and
yep, Marshall, maybe.
And Marshall.
Okay.
Yep.
Dion Marshall, a 5'10 sophomore, and Cameron Malivon, 5'6 sophomore.
Malivon can run. He is fast.
So we're hoping that he gets the football. Wawasee getting set to kick off. Their place kicker is Caleb Clevenger.
There's Burlew.
And Baloo with the run back. He'll take it up to the 35-yard line, and that's where the Lakeland Lakers will start their offense tonight.
Burlew takes the kickoff right up to the 34-yard line.
They'll mark it down right inside the 35, around the 34. Just short of the 35-yard line. 1st and 10 for the Lakers.
It's going to be interesting to see if they can move this beef that Wawasee has up front. They average 245.
Yeah, they're a big front line.
They got some big boys up there.
We certainly do. So the young quarterback, Dion Marshall, he'll roll right, looking downfield, and it's overthrown, intended there for Shifley. Cole Shifley, a 5'10 junior. So that'll bring up 2nd down and 10 for the Lakers. Just underway in the opening ball game of the 2020 football season here at Lakeland High School. Lakeland Media will be covering all the Lakeland home games this year, which will include 4 games on the schedule in 2020. And the next one, I believe, will be in 2 weeks, is Prairie Heights will come in.
Battle for the milk can.
That's right. That's been going on for a long time.
Go ahead, change the play, have delay a game. Yep.
So the first penalty of the ball game. Delay of game on Lakeland. They'll mark it back 5 yards, back to around the 30-yard line now, and it'll be 2nd down and 15.
I don't know if that was a miscommunication or he was trying to change the play at the line, but you have a sophomore quarterback and a new head coach. I'm sure there's some butterflies there.
And I believe they didn't know that Isaacs wasn't going to play until today.
No, it was he was just sick today. He was at practice last night.
That's too bad.
There's a hitch route.
Marshall rolls right. Pass is a little bit short, intended for the tight end.
Yeah.
You know, as the wide receiver Bontrager.
Yeah, he had a hitch route. He had him. He just didn't pull the trigger.
Well, at this point, he's probably gripping maybe the ball a little bit too tight, a little nerves, and
he's probably gripping a lot of things too tight.
Yeah, I would think so. I mean, it
could
typically come up short.
There's probably a lot of kids out there in their first varsity action aren't quite sure what's going on.
Maybe
yet.
This would have been a good day or night to just turn them loose and go way downfield on the first play.
maybe so.
In motion to the right side is Kyle McBride. Handoff goes over the right side, and not much of a gain.
Nope.
On Cameron Malivon.
You know, and he's listed at 150 pounds, but he does not weigh 150 pounds.
He's a little guy.
He's a little guy, but he can fly. If he makes someone miss and gets in the open, they're not going to catch him. But on the other hand, those are some big boys. Get a hand on him, and he's going to go down.
Yeah. So the Lakers will have to punt in their first possession. Back to punt is Jaron Fry.
Jaron was our punter last year. He did average 33 yards a punt, which is pretty good for high school.
He's a big guy. Gets all that.
He is a big guy.
Good punt. And that is fielded by.
Oh, they lost leverage.
And down the sidelines. Flag on the field. But taking it all the way to the house was Cam Salazar. But I think it's going to come back on a hold probably. What do you think, Coach, in that position? Probably a hold or a block in the back?
Probably a hold or a block in the back, one or the other.
And that flag is thrown right at the 44-yard line. Yeah. So everybody's coming back. So what happened there on the coverage?
Well, whoever was responsible for outside leverage lost that leverage.
Yeah.
I thought they were a little bunched up, and he got outside of that, and the end man, whoever has contained, usually the end man on the formation, needs to be outside the numbers. And I don't think they had anybody outside the numbers on that kick.
So they're going to march it all the way back to the 34-yard line, and that's where the Wawasee Warriors will have their first possession of the evening. Parker Young, their quarterback, number 14, takes the snap, hands it off. Up the middle it goes to Nathan Larson.
There's Jaron Fry on tackle, I believe.
Fry on the tackle, and the ball gets up to about, the 37, 38?
Jaron's one of the few experienced players we have out there. We have 3 other 3-year players that are seniors out with the injury or illness today.
Snap is taken by Young. He'll go right side.
Wide receiver screen.
To Salazar. He'll take it down the right side over the 50-yard line and into Laker territory.
Got to get off that block.
They'll mark it right down at just shy of the 49-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Wawasee. 9 minutes and 56 seconds to go in the first quarter in the opening game of the season. Lakeland and Wawasee from Lakeland High School.
We got trips left here.
Time Young was in the shotgun. Handoff goes over the left side. Handoff is taken by Larson again. And he gets it inside the 45-yard line down to the 44-yard line.
Larson's a pretty big boy, too. He's 180 pounds.
That's pretty big for a running back, isn't it?
Yeah, get around his legs.
Second down, 5 yards to go for Wawasee.
See if they run the read option from this. Yep.
Handoff this time goes to number 8, Dominic Blair. And a flag.
That'll be a personal foul. Number 64 is getting a little excited.
A little extracurricular activity going on down there. So that's going to go against Wawasee, and that's a big break for the Lakeland Lakers.
Those are the kind of things that just drive a coach nuts. Just had a nice play and going down the field, and now you got a 15-yard penalty.
They're getting ready to mark it off here. It's going to be all the way back to the 44-yard line. Big 15-yard penalty on Wawasee. Bring up a second down and long.
Got trips right here.
3 receivers out to the right side. That's what you meant by trips.
Yep.
All right.
This quarterback.
Handoff goes to Salazar.
Quarterback draw.
Oh, he kept it.
Yeah, he
Larson.
kept it. Quarterback draw.
Up to the 50.
He had over 100 yards rushed against us last year and 2 touchdowns. 107 yards rushing, 2 touchdowns last year.
So you saw enough of him last year for a while,
saw
right?
Enough of him.
It's going to bring up a 4th down, and Wawasee will be forced to punt it away. So both teams on their first possession are having to punt. Wawasee did gain a 1st down in their possession, but then the penalty really hurt them on that.
Oh, we got movement here. I think illegal 42 moved, I believe.
So a false start on Wawasee.
Or they're taking a
timeout.
Timeout.
All right. We'll take one also. 8 minutes, 12 seconds to go in the first quarter. No score from Lakeland High School. Back after this.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports.
Dominic Blair gets the punt off.
Deion Marshall.
Deion Marshall with the return. And he's still on his feet, but his forward progress was stopped at around the 36-yard line. Or 26, I guess. Yeah.
They're going to set up a wall to our sideline, and that kick was already to the sideline, so there wasn't quite the room to get over here. Kind of jammed in between the hash and the sideline.
Ball marked right on the 26-yard line, and the Lakers in their second possession of the evening. With Deion Marshall at quarterback. He's in the shotgun. Lone setback there looks like number 33. Right side and a couple of yards on that play.
That was Malivon, 23.
That's around the right side of the Laker line.
Gain of a couple. 2nd and 8 now for the Lakers.
Young kids who have a lot of speed want to take everything to the outside because they've been able to outrun everybody up until, now they're in varsity football. There's people out there as fast as Cameron probably, and he's going to have to learn that the goal line's north and south.
That's true. But a lot of times the big fullbacks go up the middle like that.
Yeah.
Don't have any problems knocking those big guys down on the line.
Yeah, we don't have any big fullbacks.
That's true.
Set, so.
Livon again.
Here's better. That was better.
Got a few more yards on that carry. Takes him over the 30-yard line down to about the 31. That'll bring up a 3rd down and about 4 for the Lakers.
He's running behind Evan Clark at tackle and Randall at guard.
Good blocking.
Had a nice gain there.
We'll make it 3rd and 5 for the Lakers as they break out of their huddle. Once again, Marshall in the shotgun. Malivon right behind him. Single setback. 2 receivers now in motion. One of the Lakeland receivers. Long pass downfield.
Run through the route.
Overthrown. Intended for Bontrager.
That was a nice pass.
Yeah, nice spiraling pass downfield, but just overthrown.
Yeah, but that's not a bad shot because the ball goes over the head of secondary like that. Head coach gets a little nervous and starts chewing on the ear of the defensive coordinator because those are the kind of plays that scare the living daylights out of head coaches.
I bet. The Lakers have a penalty. Or no, was it a penalty? No.
I think they just had the ball marked.
Okay. Jaron Fry once again will be back to punt for Lakeland. He'll be punting from right around his own 20-yard line. Shorter kick this time. A wobbly kick's going to come down right around the 40-yard line. Picked up there.
They missed 2 tackles there.
And Cam Salazar still on his feet. Gets it up over midfield. Fumble.
Lakers should have it. There we go.
The Lakers. Plethora of Lakers jump on it. And it's going to be good field position for the Lakeland Lakers on the fumble recovery. Good hit down there and forced the fumble from Salazar. Salazar, good running back.
Yeah, freshman Cole Frost got on that ball.
So Frost makes a recovery and puts Lakeland at the 47-yard line in their own territory.
Been in high school for 8 days and he gets a fumble in a varsity football game. It's not a bad gig.
That's great.
So far, Wawasee is just shooting themselves in the foot.
And we'll see if Lakeland can take advantage of it here. Mark Ballou split out wide to the near sidelines here. Dropping back to pass
a crossing route.
Marshall, and the pass was intended there for Ballou, but just a little bit overthrown or ahead of him. So it'll be 2nd and 10 for the Lakers. 5 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the opening quarter.
I come back to that hitch they had earlier. The Bontrager was open.
Yeah, we'll see if that comes to pass here.
Well, he came out of the game, so
Nope, that's not going to happen.
they're not going to throw it to him.
Lakers break out of their huddle.
They have Shifley in there. Shifley has a good pair of hands.
Single setback again. Now we have a timeout called by Coach O'Shea. And he'll talk things over with his Lakers. We'll take a timeout as well. We'll be back with more Laker football right after this timeout.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Hi, this is Trent Curtis, managing broker of Lakeland Realty in LaGrange. These are just a few of the homes and businesses that I have for sale or have recently sold. If you're thinking of selling, you couldn't have picked a better time. Inventory continues to be low and home prices are at all-time highs. Call me for a free market analysis and I can help you decide if the time is right for you. Should you decide to sell, you can count on me to expertly market your home and guide you through the home selling process. Call or text me or visit my website at trentcurtis.com.
They got
Back to action. Handoff up the middle.
That was to the fullback from Rabies.
Rabies with his first carry of the night, wasn't it?
I believe so.
Gets it up to the 50, where it'll be second down. Third down, rather, and 8 yards to go for the Lakers. Big third down here for Lakeland after the fumble recovery.
This might be a good time for a screen or draw.
Taking the snap
is
Marshall, and no gain on the play. Marabias with a carry.
Big number 68 on that tackle.
A little pushing and shoving going on after that play. So it'll be fourth down again, and probably bring Jaron Fry back out to do the punting for the Lakers.
Running a quarter out. Oh, still 4 minutes.
4 minutes, 47 seconds to go in the opening quarter. Next week, the Lakers travel down to Churubusco, and that'll be another tough ball game.
Down to Turtletown.
Yep. And then we'll be back here with our broadcast 2 weeks from tonight against the Prairie Heights Panthers with a win streak on the line. 15 games?
Oh, it's more than that.
Oh.
Last time Prairie
that's
Heights,
just in your coaching
Yeah, it's just
career.
when I was head coach.
Yeah.
The last time they won was 2003 on a skip pass in overtime.
Wow.
In Brushy Prairie. And the last time before that was 1988. I was in Indianapolis coaching that year.
So what's the traveling trophy? The
milk can.
The milk can's been here a lot.
It's been here. Well, I've been here 33 years, and so 32-1, I guess.
Now, I know when I was in high school, Prairie Heights had a very good football team. Very good.
They were good in the 70s and 80s under Gordon Grable. But,
yeah, that's about when I was in school in the 70s at Westview, and of course we didn't have a football team, but you always heard about Prairie Heights football. So.
Yeah. Yep, they had some boys back then.
4.5, just a little over 4.5 minutes to go in the first quarter. Must have been a timeout called here.
He called. I don't know if that's his second or third timeout.
That's Lakeland called it?
He called it.
Well,
O'Shea called it.
Yeah, he's got to get his team together here. Fourth down, punting situation. Or, well, what are we doing? It says
4th and 9.
Yeah, it says 2nd and 10 on the clock. I don't think so. So Jaron Fry will punt from his own 35-yard line. Big senior. He's got to be the biggest guy on the team, isn't he? 6'4". Well, Braden Bontrager's pretty big too. But.
Yeah. I'm not sure he weighs 270, but he is a big kid.
Punt is, they're going to let it
that roll out of bounds.
Goes out at the 15-yard line, and that's where Wawasee will take possession.
So this is the best best field position Lakeland defense has had so far in the first quarter.
Well, we'll see what the Lakeland defense has in store here for the Wawasee offense. No one's been able to get on the scoreboard up to this point as we wind down in the first quarter of play.
I think we have a lot of 6-month off jitters here.
Yeah.
A lot of COVID-19 mistakes going on.
Yeah, we kind of touched on that in our pregame show, and I think you're going to probably see a lot of that in the first few ball games.
They got motion, jet
Logan
sweep.
Hands it off. Number
They're
11.
Get outside.
Salazar still on his feet.
First down.
And
I believe.
He gets it past the first down marker all the way out to right around the 30-yard line.
In fact, the outside linebacker who should have leverage on that got cracked.
Yeah, it's going to be short of the 30. They're going to mark it at the 27-yard line. Nonetheless, it's a first down for Wawasee.
Got a power formation.
Young hands it off once again up the middle.
That was
We'll see who comes out of the heap there. Probably Salazar. Well, it looked like number 20, and that's Nathan Larson, the tailback.
Yep. That was a little ISO play, I believe.
Parker Young in the shotgun for Wawasee. Second down, 5 yards to go on the 32-yard line. He'll hand it off.
Oh, nice
and
play.
Good read by the Laker defense.
Evan Clark, I believe.
Clark made the first hit, 64?
Is
it?
55, I believe.
Okay. Good defense by the Lakeland Lakers that time. They read that very well.
Well, he's got to set the edge, and he got outside and got that leverage and did a nice play there.
3rd and 9 now for Wawasee. Big defensive stand here. See if the Lakers can hand it. Back to pass is Young. Wide open. And it's going to take it to the house there is Cam Salazar. Nope. He's going to be tackled and put down inside the 10-yard line.
I think they ran a pop there, a post over a post, and safety didn't get underneath that post.
Salazar's quick.
And probably anybody but Malivon, that would have been a touchdown.
That's true. I couldn't believe it. I just looked down to make sure it was Salazar that was carrying the ball. I looked up. I figured he was gone, but Malivon caught up with him.
Yeah, he's had 24 receptions last year, so he's their leading receiver coming back.
Handoff this time goes to 20, and that is Nathan Larson. Might have gotten a yard or so over the left side.
Good job by the
Nathan Larson on the carry.
Second down, goal to go now for Wawasee. 2 minutes, 35 seconds to go in the first quarter. Go ahead, Coach.
I think Marabies and Burlew were in on that tackle, outside backer and inside backer. I think I got these new glasses the other day.
Yeah, you're helping me out with spotting these guys that are getting the football. Up the middle again, that is Nathan Larson.
Nice little push there, 3 yards or so.
Yeah, he's got it all the way down inside the 5-yard line.
I think we're on the 2.
So it'll be 3rd and goal now.
He's going to make it 3rd and goal.
And they have it marked down around the 3, it looks like. Larson hands off.
Same play.
And he's tackled right at the line of scrimmage.
From the outside. Who was? Leo Munoz was in there.
So the Lakers forced them into 4th down now. 4th and goal to go for Wawasee. And they're backed up now on the 4-yard line. Quarterback sneak and Parker Young.
Yeah,
they signaled it. Yep. Touchdown for Wawasee. So they hit the scoreboard first here at Lakeland. After the long pass from Parker Young to Salazar, set him up well inside the 10-yard line, and they were able to get it into the end zone.
I did think the young Laker D responded well there.
They did, yeah.
They made them work at it. That offensive lines, they got some beef up there. Must have a smorgasbord over there in Wawasee somewhere.
Yeah, big one. Take the kids out there every night. And the PAT is good for Wawasee, so they take an early 7-0 lead as we wind down on the first quarter here at Lakeland High School. We'll be back with the Wawasee kickoff right after this timeout.
Shine LaGrange. What started here at the LaGrange First Church of God has basically become a Shine LaGrange. What started here at the LaGrange First Church of God has basically become a community movement, and we've tagged in multiple organizations within LaGrange County with a unified mission to lift up local businesses and to serve this community.
Never miss a big game by downloading the IHSAA TV app for free on any device. For your iPhone or Apple TV, check the App Store. On your Android or Android TV device, load up the Google Play Store. Have a Roku or Amazon Fire Stick? We have the app for you. Check us out on Facebook Live, Twitter, or YouTube Live by searching for IHSAA TV. Or as always, click to ihsaatv.org for quick and easy access to your favorite IHSAA live and archived events.
Malivon and Dion Marshall back to receive the kickoff from Wawasee when we return to action here after the Warrior touchdown.
It'll be interesting to see how the Lakers respond getting behind. See what kind of leadership they have here.
It's got to be tough losing your quarterback or your starting quarterback.
Well, we haven't really talked about it, but they, not only did they lose their quarterback last night, but the leading tackler from last year, Bryce Allshouse, has been out for the past week or so with a hip injury, so he's not playing. And Miggy De La Paz, who was our right guard last year, 300-pounder, is going to practice next week. He's been out with a knee injury, so
wow.
Really, three of the four most experienced players are out today. Jaron
so
Fry's
Jaron Fry's the lone ranger,
the lone ranger.
Wow. Kick is in the air. It's a short boot.
This is Shifley.
And Shifley with the catch, and he's taking it. Found a hole up the middle. Takes it down to just inside the 40-yard line, around the 37 or 8.
Had a nice little hip swivel move there for young Mr. Shifley. He's a great kid.
5'10", 145-pound junior Cole Shifley.
It's probably a good thing that he had a hip swivel, because he does not weigh 145 pounds.
So you're saying he's in like 130 or 35?
He told me today class he weighed 131.
Wow. Well, he lost a lot of weight, though, at practice and everything,
yeah, I'm
right?
sure
and all
he did.
Sprints and all that stuff. So Dion Marshall at quarterback again. He's in the shotgun. Lone setback there is Malivon. He gets the handoff. He'll take it over the left side. Got it, some running room.
There he
Takes it up close to the first down. I mean, just a little shy, but a good run. So he did get outside that time and turned the corner. Now I see his speed.
He can run.
It is a first down for the Lakers as they spot the ball just short of the 47-yard line in Laker territory.
I was really hoping to see what he could do in the track last year as a freshman, but unfortunately we didn't
Oh,
have that
that's
season.
right. That was
So
that
we'll
kind of
have to
got
wait.
eaten up by COVID,
Yeah,
didn't
we'll
it?
have to wait till this spring.
Yeah. Well, at least he didn't graduate, right?
Thank goodness.
No, it was at Malivon again.
I believe.
This time not much room there on the run. It'll be marked right about the line of scrimmage, so it'll be second down and 10 for the Lakers. 20 seconds to go in the first quarter now. Wawasee with the lead 7-0 over Lakeland.
Going inside the tackle is going to be tough. You have 72 in there who's 5'10", 270, and who's that 68 playing next to him?
Yeah,
I believe
so.
He's
Looks
6'1",
like it.
6'1", 245.
You're asking me, and you're the one with the new glasses, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's the second one.
He
yeah.
looks like he might be bigger than 245.
He is huge.
Yeah, he's a big kid.
Man. 1 quarter in the books here at Lakeland. We'll be back with a second quarter right after this timeout.
The Lighthouse started as a community collaboration to impact families that have a need for childcare within our state. The Lighthouse Center is going to be located in Ashley, Indiana, in a community center building.
Furrup May Funeral Home in LaGrange serves the surrounding area with dignified and personal funeral services. Furrup May provides pre-planning, traditional funeral services, traditional cremations, and simple cremations, as well as monument sales. Call to discuss your needs with a knowledgeable funeral director, Lowell or Brian May, licensed funeral directors who will help you honor the cherished memory of your departed loved one. Call 260-463-3131 or visit their website at furrupmayfuneralhome.com. Jerry Hostetler with former coach of Lakeland, Keith Thompson here at Lakeland High School.
Be a hitch, yep. Hitch to Shifley.
Looked like I might have skipped right in front of Shifley. You want to keep them low, don't you, Coach, those passes, but not that low.
Not that low. That's a good design. They ran that at practice several times last night. That's how I knew what the play was.
Yeah, there you go.
But a hitch is a nice little play. If they can get 7 yards on it. But the receiver's got to get enough depth to come back to the ball so they can get a decent gain. Then if the corner misses, you're off to the races.
3rd down, 10 to go for the Lakers.
That trips into the boundary. Probably going to come to Bontrager over here. Yep.
Drop back.
He's
Marshall with a pass. Bontrager open. Oh, good defense. Number 6 there. Lucas Ringler got a hand in there. Knocked the pass away at the last second.
It's a nice defensive play. Safety was over top.
He had Bontrager open. Well thrown pass. It was there, but just good coverage. So that'll bring up 4th and 10, another punting situation for the Lakers. Jaron Fry on the field. Wawasee will drop back Cam Salazar.
Anytime you have trips into the boundary and your stud receiver to the wide side of the field, 9 times out of 10 the ball is going to come to the stud.
True.
And that's exactly what they tried to do there.
Fry just gets the punt off, and it's going to roll dead right around the 21-yard line, and that's where the Wawasee Warriors will take over. So the Lakers were able to get their first down of the evening in that drive, right? Am I missing one from the first quarter? I think that was the first.
I believe that was.
And I'm sure the butterflies are coming out at Marshall now. He's probably feeling a little more comfortable out there. Doesn't have much time to think, though, because he plays defense, too. Most of these guys do, don't they?
Which is probably a good thing for a quarterback starting his first game. A lot of times, because they come over sideline and everyone's talking to him, getting in his ear, and think too much.
Right.
Just easier to go out and play.
Now we have a timeout. One of the officials coming over to talk to Coach O'Shea. Not sure what this is all about.
He's not happy about something.
Yeah. Making himself.
I'm not sure what it is.
Making his opinion known to the officials down there.
It took me a while to figure out as a head coach that just stay away from my quarterbacks, and especially after they made a mistake. they know what they did wrong, and
Yeah. It's probably best in the long run, right? I mean, it's hard, but it's...
So usually, I would walk one way and they would walk the other.
Yeah, and that was okay.
And that was fine. We can talk about it Saturday morning.
Yeah.
Or the quarterback coach can talk to him. Usually quarterback coaches are warm and fuzzy.
Yeah. They're groomed that way, right?
Yeah, quarterbacks are all.
Yeah.
they're delicate things.
Chances are they used to be quarterbacks. That's why they're quarterback coach. Yeah.
I was an offensive lineman. I don't get it.
Yeah. All right, Parker Young at quarterback again for the Wawasee Warriors in the shotgun. Lone setback. He'll go left
They got a
side.
screen. This he's got some room here. Oh,
Some
nice
running
tackle.
room over the left side. Good trip up there by the Lakers.
Dion.
Dion Marshall on the tackle. Jacob Meek with the reception.
If that split in when I got a better block, that was a touchdown. That was a nice play by Dion Marshall.
That was.
Right there.
Good tackle. Second down, 1 now for Wawasee. Fake on the handoff and a bootleg around the right side. Good run by Parker Young as he takes it all the way to the 44-yard line. First down for Wawasee.
That was a read option. I believe they were reading 89 John Wright on there because he came free and thought he had the tackle for a loss, and quarterback pulled it.
I think that's the first option that they've run tonight. Worked out well for the Warriors. Young on the quarterback keeper. Gain of about 3 on the play. It'll be second down and 7 now for Wawasee, leading the Lakers by a score of 7-0 here. 10 minutes, 25 seconds to go in the first half.
I think this time of game it's a little hot. They can see if they can pound the ball, and there's a jet sweep.
Handoff goes to Salazar. He takes it around the right side, and good gain, first down yardage, all the way down to the 43-yard line in Laker territory.
Salazar has some speed and has some moves.
He's able to find an opening around the right side. Took it down for good yardage, and Wawasee back in business offensively. First and 10 from the 42-yard line. Snap is taken, handoff goes right side to Larson, and he's got a gain of about 5 on the play.
That was another option. That time he gave it to the fullback.
No, he gave it, to number 20, Nathan Larson. That'll bring up a second down, and they're going to call it 6. 9:27 to go in the first half. Young in the shotgun, takes a snap, handoff up the middle.
Yeah, I think
good blocking.
Wawasee is going to try to use their size advantage and see if they can wear the young Lakers down.
Didn't quite get to the first down marker, about a yard short. Third down and call it 1.
Big quarterback sneak, he's under center.
Yep, you called it, and he's got it. Got the first down inside the 30.
Oh, he's been under center twice. Both times he's run a sneak.
Yeah.
Sometimes you got a 16, 17-year-olds out there. That doesn't click.
Yeah, I mean, the last time I broadcasted football, you hardly saw him in the shotgun in high school.
Yeah.
So.
They didn't even do it in the pros.
Yeah, no, but not back then.
That was going to be a toss.
Larson's forced to keep it, and he'll take it around the left side. And
there, Dion did a nice job again on the.
Tripped him up, yeah.
Taking the leverage, keeping the outside leverage. That was going to be a quick pitch to the tailback, and they had a bad snap.
Second down now and 2 or 3. Ball marked just inside of or between the around the 21-yard line, we'll call it. Oh, good read by Laker defense that time.
That's a 131 Dynamo.
And it worked.
His parents are sitting right in front of us.
Man, that was a hit. You wouldn't know he was 131 pounds, right?
Yeah, he might have been 133. Had a big lunch.
Larson felt that one.
But he's a smart kid. He didn't. They tried to run that play before, and
Larson almost
Cole knew
looks
what was
like
going on.
looks like he got the wind knocked out of him. Now we have a flag, a false start or offsides on. I don't know. Was it a false start on Wawasee or was it?
They called it on Lakeland.
Yeah, they did. Offsides on Lakeland, so they'll mark off 5 yards. And that'll bring up third and about 3.
That's one of those things that head coaches just get furious at. But if you want defensive linemen to come off the ball, they're going to have to,
got to anticipate.
They're going to have to anticipate a little bit. That's not an easy thing.
Pitch comes left side out to Nathan Larson. He finds some running room, takes it all the way down to close to the 5-yard line before he's forced out of bounds by the Laker defense. Looked like Jaron Fry was in on the tackle.
Yeah, we lost leverage that time.
That's good enough for a Wawasee first down.
Another first out for Wawasee as they march it toward pay dirt again.
And goal for the Warriors from the 7-yard
Starting to
line.
see some movement on the Lakeland line in the wrong direction. I think they're getting a little tired.
Young takes a snap. He'll go right
There, they
side.
got the
Ball bobbled a little
touchdown.
bit, but that's going to be a touchdown. Taking it in to the end zone was Jacob Meek on the reception. So the second touchdown of the evening for Wawasee.
Nice little wide receiver screen there.
And the Warriors with a 13-0 lead now pending the outcome of the PAT. .6:54 now to go in the first half. Caleb Clevenger is successful on the PAT. So our score was 6:54 to go in the first half. It's Wawasee 14 and Lakeland 0. We'll be back with more second quarter action from Lakeland High School right after this timeout.
Once again, a reminder, thanks to
You have a story to tell. It may be your product, it might be your business, or it may be the biggest day of your entire life. You have a story to tell, and we want to help you tell that story. Ripcord Media Production.
Going through IHSAA. We're back at Lakeland High School. Wawasee getting set to kick off to Lakeland after scoring the touchdown.
It's going to be real important to see how Lakeland finishes this 7 minutes here.
They need to gain some momentum
They need
going
to get
into
a
that
couple
locker
first
room.
downs and take something positive into the locker room.
Deanna Marshall and 23, Cameron Molivon.
I think the heat is starting to take
Wear
its
them down a
toll.
little bit,
Yeah,
take its
they're starting-
toll.
I'm seeing some tired kids.
Tim Bolt kicking off for Wawasee. Short kick. And it's fielded by
Number 30.
30, and that would be
Owen Troyer.
Owen.
Owen Troyer.
Takes it up to just shy of the 40-yard line.
He's another very good athlete as a sophomore that lost his track season as a freshman.
So Owen gets into the action there on that short kickoff. It takes it up to the 39, and that's where the Lakers will start.
Let's see if we can get first down here.
Deion Marshall back out, try to lead his offense down the field. Marshall takes a snap, hands off to Malivon.
Inside, 61.
And he's going to be brought down for a loss on the play.
Gage Morris with the tackle.
Malivon met in the backfield.
Didn't quite get back to the line of scrimmage. It's going to be a loss of, well, maybe. Oh,
got a flag. He's looking at a Wawasee kid. Must be
trash talking going on.
Must be talking.
Yep. So that'll help the Lakers.
Here's the first down we need.
There we go. Lakers marching it down the field on penalties here. 15-yard penalty. That's going to bring it across midfield all the way down to the 46-yard line in Wawasee territory. So Lakeland has some good field position in front of them there. We'll see if they can take advantage of it.
They had a lot of penetration on that last play.
Lakers chasing 14.
Now we have a bunch formation down here on the right side of the field.
3 split out to the near sidelines here. Lone set back against Malivon. And Marshall takes a snap, drops it, hands it off to Malivon, looks outside, trying to get outside, can't do it this time.
Yeah, they didn't.
The play was a little slow in developing because of the fumble on the snap, it looked like. We're going to mark it down just short of the 48-yard line. Second down and 12 now for Lakeland.
It's never an easy call here. Call something where hopefully you get 6 yards and make it 3rd and 6.
Get half of it. Braden Bontrager, split far right side. Is that Shifley to the left side? Can't see his number.
Shifley to the right. That's Berlew up at top.
Okay.
There's a hitch.
Caught by Bontrager, and he battles his way down to close to the 40-yard line.
So there they go. They got 6.
That's right, Coach. There's half of them. Let's get the rest here.
Throw a hitch to the 6'4" wide receiver is always a good call.
It's nice to have a big receiver like that can catch that ball over the defense.
Yeah.
3rd down, 5 yards to go now for Lakeland.
Yeah, corners aren't used to tackling 220-pound
No, I'm sure they are.
Wide receivers.
Yeah, he's built more like a tight end.
Yeah. Got trips, so we got a
right
sweep.
side.
Oh, penetration.
Malivon is brought down again.
By number 8.
He might have gotten back to the line of scrimmage. I don't know. No, it looks like he lost a little bit on the play.
Number 8 believes inside linebacker.
And 5.
Yep. Inside linebacker. Ran through the window and shut it.
And Malivon was brought down. They're going to mark it at the 42, so it'll be 4th down and 6 now for Lakeland, and they're going to go for it.
I'd throw another hitch here. Got trips.
In motion is McBride. Rolling right. Marshall under pressure. He unloads it, and it's going to be off the mark over the head of the intended receiver, Braden Bontrager. And a couple of would-be interceptors were back there, so missed everybody. It'll be Wawasee football now on their own 42-yard line.
So they were smart to let that ball go.
Yes.
Which for a high school kid's pretty.
No, they want the interception, right?
They want to get that INT.
If they've got the chance, they're not. Has that happened with you in coaching?
Oh.
I would say, yeah, probably has. Huh?
You can't blame the kid.
No.
It's one of those things. Experience.
Yeah.
Oh, he's going to run a speed option. I'm not quite sure what.
Up to about the 44-yard line. So a little bit of a gain on the play for Wawasee. Larson, or rather Young with the keeper.
I'm not sure if he did that on purpose or
Yeah.
kind of try to get a draw going, or
2nd and 8, a gain of 2 for Young on the play. Takes a snap, drops back to pass, goes over the right side, and it's grabbed by Meek. Meek with running room down the sideline, takes it all the way down inside the 35-yard line, down to about, right around the 35-yard line, and first down for Wawasee.
He ran a nice little out route there.
And he had some running room after the catch. 4 minutes to go in the first half. Lakers trailing, and the Laker defense wasn't set. Wawasee snaps the ball wide open, and a catch and a touchdown in the end zone by Cam Salazar from Parker Young on the reception. So a 35-yard touchdown pass to Cam Salazar by Parker Young.
You can't let a man run down the seam untouched. You got to disrupt those routes.
And what happened was Wawasee just rushing their offense there. Lakeland wasn't set defensively, so kind of took them by surprise.
A lot of times after you get a big play, if you run a play off real fast, the defense, they're kind of feeling sorry for themselves and
kind of be moping around a little bit.
Coaches are yelling at players, and they don't get the signal in. And
PAT is up and good by Caleb Clevenger, and that makes it a 21-0 ball game. Wawasee with the lead. 3:51 to go in the first half. We'll be back with more football from Laker Field, Lakeland High School, right after this timeout.
Always shining brighter into others. Here at LaGrange First Church of God, we always try to put light into dark places by loving and caring for one another. We all have experienced hurts, habits, or hang-ups, but we serve an almighty God who cares for us and loves us. And He can do immeasurably more than we could ever ask or imagine. If you're interested in connecting with us, check out our app, our website, or find us on Facebook. We hope to see you Sunday.
Shine LaGrange. What started here at the LaGrange First Church of God has basically become a community movement, and we've tagged in multiple organizations within LaGrange County with a unified mission to lift up local businesses and to serve this community.
We'll get it worked out. We're back at Lakeland High School, and we apologize for some of the technical difficulties we're having tonight with internet. Wi-Fi, I guess. So
we can just blame it on me.
Yeah, there you go. It must be you, Coach. You weren't here this morning. Everything was fine, you know.
I was stuck in the classroom.
There you go. Wawasee getting set to kick off, and their kicker is Clevenger. Another short
That was
kick.
very smart. That was very smart. Cole Frost, I'm impressed. Called a fair catch.
You don't see that very often on a kickoff.
A lot of kids don't think about that.
So Cole Frost gets the return of, he got the reception on the kickoff, and it's going to be marked right at the 39-yard line. And that's where the Lakers will start their offense.
Coach Shaco's working on making his fair catch signal a little more clear. But that was a heady play there by a young freshman.
So you mentioned Shaco. Some of the other, or all of the other assistant coaches, are they coaches that were with you last year? Or some of them?
Yeah, actually, Shaco's coached for me in the past too, but then when he became administrator, they wouldn't let him do that.
Tackle in the backfield for a loss as Marshall on the option was going right. I think that was the option, or was he just scrambling?
I think he was just scrambling.
Yeah, probably. It looked like a blitz or something was coming at him.
Yeah. Morgan Moore played for me, graduated. He graduated, 2014, I believe. He was on the last conference championship. He's the defensive coordinator. He's got the mullet down there.
Oh, okay.
And then Seth Calley's the offensive line coach. He's been my offensive coordinator the past couple years, and great offensive line coach. Of course, he had a really good offensive line coach when he played.
That was
me.
Yeah, I figured.
And then his brother Trent is up in the box. So they all played for me.
Not much of a gain there. That's going to be third down at about 14 for the Lakers. 2 minutes 40 seconds to go in the first half.
Yeah, the Lakers got to find a way to put a couple first downs together.
Yeah, the first downs have been far and few between here in this first half.
Get something positive to go into halftime with.
That would be nice. Little momentum to take to the locker room.
Looks like they're bringing some pressure.
In motion with Shifley. Pass over the middle is going to be short. Intended for Shifley. Or not Shifley, but yeah, it was Shifley.
It was the Shifley.
Yep.
He ran a crossing route because he's the man who went into motion.
That brings up fourth down.
So it'll be 4th and 14 now for Lakeland. And I would think we'll see Jared Fry come out. Fry will be punting from around his own 22-yard line.
Lakers going to have to win this last 2 minutes. Oh, this isn't.
Black punt is the snap was muffed.
Exactly what could not have happened.
So the Warriors are going to be left with excellent field position and a chance to increase their already 21-point lead here.
Yeah, I was just going to say the Lakers had to win this last 2:34 and going with something positive, and
that's not what happened.
That's
yeah,
exactly what they could not allow to happen.
So Wawasee will bring their offense back onto the football field. Great field position at the 25-yard line in Lakeland territory.
Let's see if they can get a stop here. Turnover would be a great thing right here.
You have Cam Salazar flanked out to the left side, along with Adam Beer. Young back to pass, looking downfield, and it's overthrown.
They had their opportunity right there.
The intended receiver there was Jacob Meek. They had a wide open receiver over here.
Well, he was under a little bit of pressure and threw off his back foot, which he has a tendency to do. I believe we got a holding call here.
It looks like it. So it'll be a hold on Wawasee, and they'll mark that off.
Yep.
That'll take it all the way back to the 39-yard line. Yep. So it'll be second down and long from there for Wawasee.
Offensive line coaches just hate holding calls.
Yeah, I bet so too.
Every time I got called for holding, I wasn't holding.
Of course not.
They missed all the times I won.
Yeah,
A speed option.
Young
There's
left
nice
side
tackle.
on the. Good tackle by Lakeland on about the 35-yard line.
That was Braden Bontrager coming up for the tackle. That was a good job.
A gain of 3. It is
Bring up second, and still a long way to go for Wawasee. Young with the snap. Back the pass downfield. And it's caught.
He's out.
But was he out?
Yeah.
Yep, he was out of bounds, so it'll be an incomplete pass. The intended receiver was Lucas Ringler, but he caught it out of bounds, so it'll be third down and long now for Wawasee. So this would be a big stop for Lakeland, maybe give them a little momentum.
Yeah, they ran a little flood there. They had an out route and the post over top of it, and he hit the post, just ran out of real estate.
And I would imagine at this point in the game, I don't know, unless they have a really good field goal kicker, this will be a 4 down.
Screen.
Screen is complete. And to Larson, and he not going to get the first. Well, he broke a few tackles, got back to beyond the original line of scrimmage, but well short of the first down. So now what do you do here, Coach? You go for it or a field goal, depending on their kicker.
Depends on if you have a kicker.
Yeah.
But they're going to go for it.
So Young stays on the field. They'll have 3 receivers split out wide left. And now a timeout's going to be called by Wawasee's coach.
That'd be a
35-yard
field goal.
We'll be back right after this timeout.
The Lighthouse started as a community collaboration to impact families that have a need for childcare within our state. The Lighthouse Center is going to be located in Ashley, Indiana, in a community center building.
Something to do with the people here. We're back at Lakeland High School. Good to have you along tonight. Sorry for the technical issues that we're having, but we're working with the staff here at Lakeland High School and their great IT staff, and we're going to get things worked out by the time we're back here in a couple of weeks, no doubt about it. Wawasee with the football, 4th down and goal or long. They have to get it inside the 15-yard line. Young
under pressure.
Being pressured.
Oh, they
gets in the air,
came up
wide
with the ball.
open in the end zone, and another touchdown for Wawasee as Meek broke loose, and so did Young as far as that goes, as he got past would-be tacklers and got the pass off for another touchdown for Wawasee.
Well, the secondary there saw the quarterback starting to scramble, and they froze, and they got it. Their job is to be the deepest people on the field, and number 5 kept running his route.
That's right. Meek, that's what released Meek to be wide open in the end zone, the left corner of the end zone. So once again, Caleb Clevenger will try the PAT. So far, he's 3 for 3 and now 4 for 4 as he hits it. Inside a minute to go now in the first half of play here at Lakeland High School, and our score, Wawasee 28, Lakeland 0. We'll be back with more football action from LaGrange right after this timeout.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty is a full-service auction and real estate company serving northern Indiana and Michigan. We offer our clients years of combined experience, honesty, and trust, which gives you results.
At 1600, I am 15 now, but I'm once again, but it gets 16. I'm going to get 25, now 30, now 40, now 50, now 50, now 60, get down 25, 35, 85, 75, 85, I get 75, 85.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty. We sell the earth and everything on it.
And number 9, Dion Marshall.
Wawasee getting set to kick off again. It'll be Caleb Clevenger with the kickoff this time. The last couple have been pretty short. They have Clevenger out there now. And this one's a little bit longer.
It's got to go Dion Marshall.
And Dion Marshall fumbles, grabs it, and he's hit right away. And that's the right around the 12-yard line. So not the greatest field position for the Lakers to start here, but less than a minute to go.
And that'll be 1st and 10. Lakers.
So if you were the coach, would you let the clock run out and get things straightened out at halftime, Coach? Or
From the 15-yard line.
I'd probably run a couple dives and go inside.
At this point, that's probably the best policy. Back out on the field is Dion Marshall, the starting quarterback tonight for Lakeland. If you've just joined us, Colton Isaacs is out sick. So if he's watching, we wish him well. Snap taken by Marshall. Hand off to Malivan. Takes it over the left side. Gain of about 3.
Cameron Malivon takes the
Ball will be marked down right around the 18-yard line for Lakeland. That'll bring up second down at 6, a gain of 4 in the play by Malivine.
I imagine this will be the same play.
Go left side.
Maybe we'll switch it up and go to the other side. With his speed, you never know. If they miss the tackle, he's gone.
That's right. Snap taken.
Same play.
Handoff. Malivine around the left side again. Another gain of a couple of yards there. More like 3 yards. And closer to that first down marker, but we're getting closer to the end of the first half as well.
Running behind Evan Clark and Marcus Randall again.
3rd and 4, 6 seconds down the clock here in the first half.
Yeah, they're just going to
let her run out.
Well, they're going to have to snap it.
That's true, 16. Marshall has him set. Takes the snap, hands off to Malivine, who's protecting that football, and he's taken down for a loss, and that'll end the first half of play here at Lakeland High School. The Lakers have a little bit of a hole to dig out of here in this second half. We'll see what brand new coach O'Shea has in store for them in the locker room and what we'll see in the second half. So we played the first half of football here with Wawasee dominating so far 28-0 over Lakeland. We'll be back to talk about the first half and hopefully have some stats right after this timeout.
Hi, I'm Matt Wolford, president of the IHSAA Foundation, and we need your help. We need your help so the youth of our community can develop advanced leadership skills. We need your help giving high school administrators and coaches the instruction and insight they need to be better role models and teachers. To learn more or to make a tax-deductible contribution, go to ihsaafoundation.org. You'll not only be contributing to the foundation of the IHSAA, you'll be contributing to the foundation of our community.
Night to Shine is a prom for those with special needs 14 and older, sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation and held worldwide on the same night every February. LaGrange First Church of God is honored to be a host church for this amazing event, celebrating 5 years this coming February. We would like to thank the businesses who give so generously every year to make this night possible. We truly could not do it without your support. We also want to thank the hundreds of volunteers who served that evening. Be sure and check out our Facebook page at Night to Shine LaGrange, Indiana on how you can get involved and help be the light.
You have a story to tell. It may be your product, it might be your business, or it may be the biggest day of your entire life. You have a story to tell, and we want to help you tell that story. Ripcord Media Production.
And we're back at Lakeland High School. Jerry Hostetler along with former head coach at Lakeland High School, Keith Thompson. Good to have you along tonight, Keith. Appreciate you doing this for this year. Couldn't ask for a better person to have up here, actually. All the knowledge you have of Lakeland football over the years. Unfortunately, tonight, so far, isn't the Lakers' night.
Yeah, the Lakers are missing some key personnel, and they just can't seem to get any offense going. I think, defensively, hasn't been terrible. They've played, good enough to be in the game. They just haven't got any offense going.
Right. So in a case like, of course, the coach has presented this problem. Like this morning, he probably found out that his starting quarterback, Holden Isaacs, was home sick,
Yeah.
and Deion Marshall's probably thinking, "Oh, I'm going to be the quarterback tonight," but that's an adjustment the whole team has to make.
That's a huge adjustment. How the kids take it. How many reps has Deion gotten in practice? What kind of confidence they have in him, and what kind of confidence Deion have in himself is a big issue. That's a tough thing for a sophomore to step into his first varsity football game.
Oh, definitely, yeah. So it's been all Wawasee so far, 28-0 at halftime here at Laker Field. One positive, we got beautiful weather for the opening night, and it's starting to cool off now that the sun is starting to set. Pretty good crowd on hand for being the COVID year, I guess we call it.
COVID restrictions.
Yeah, all the restrictions that are on, and it's kept the crowd down a little bit. But Wawasee across the field has brought quite a few fans. Obviously, their parents and relatives, probably a lot of them grandparents. But still good to see, and everybody is just glad to be back out and enjoying some type of activity after being
some sort of
quarantined.
Normal.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And I think it's important. I know there's arguments on both sides, and to see what the college teams have done. Some of them have completely just dropped the season, and it's just different. It's totally something that we've never experienced in our lifetime. So
no, we haven't.
No, and hopefully we won't again.
Hopefully this is the last time. But it's been 6 months without an athletic event, which I do fall and spring sports and in the weight room in between and all summer, and this has just been sitting at home in my chair, doing what my wife tells me to do.
Yeah, pretty much that's the way it's been for everyone. So, yeah, track is another thing that you coach, and you're continuing to coach. And last season, of course, was blown away by COVID. So, unfortunately, that happened. Getting back to football, Coach O'Shea, what do you think he's talking about to his team in the locker room right now?
Well, they got to find something to hang their hat on offensively. The hitch route to Bontrager obviously worked. That was open an earlier time. They just got to find some simple plays that can get Deion some confidence and get the offensive line some confidence and get a couple first downs and keep Wawasee off the field. Because I think part of the problem is that we don't have Lakeland doesn't have a lot of depth, and it's hot, and you have a lot of young kids out there, and you start getting tired, and you're thinking about being tired instead of the process, and you start hanging your head. They got to find some ways to get some confidence built. If not for the end of this game, going into next week.
So at halftime on a night like this, you're down this many points. Will the kids recover faster? I mean, with that break, is that enough for these young kids to get their energy back and get back out on the field and get some momentum going?
A lot of that depends on how much they've stayed hydrated over the past couple of days. It's not just
it's not just today or tonight.
Yeah, but a lot of that really is mental. I think if this was a normal season where they've been conditioning since June, they should be in decent enough shape to be able to come back physically.
Right.
Whether they can rebound mentally, is yet to be seen. That's where leadership and comes in, and a lot of their leaders aren't playing today. So it'd be interesting to see what the Lakers do in the second half.
Yeah, it is. And Coach O'Shea is in a situation, first year as a head coach. He's lost a lot of key players, illness or injury. He had COVID to deal with. Poor guy.
Yeah,
it's
not I just can't imagine. Dealing with COVID is bad enough, and then with the hand he's been dealt here this past week, and then today Colton going out is not a good thing. But he's a young positive guy, and he'll keep working at it, and these are good kids. As long as they stay positive and keep plugging away to working to get better.
Yeah.
Down the road, we're going to see some things, I think.
Looking over the roster of Lakeland, And I think you might have mentioned it earlier, but it seems to me it's a pretty good mix. I mean, you've got a lot of juniors and seniors, but then you've got some sophomores mixed in there too. Pretty good group of kids. A good mixture of young and.
Rex Bowser used to say, "For every sophomore you start, that's a loss." and I didn't count how many sophomores we have.
Well, I know we have one at quarterback tonight.
We have one at quarterback that we didn't plan on being there. We have
one. Troyer, he was playing special teams.
Yeah,
so.
he's played some corner. Japheth Dominguez is playing at guard.
So you have some stats?
We got some stats here from Stat Chick.
All right.
She's a veteran, Melody. Melody's been with me for the past 15 years. So.
That's great. Yeah, she sent me the stats from last year for you guys. And these are apparently Lakeland stats. So we have. It looks like it. She handed us her phone. So the rushing stats, let's see. Well, now we went to kickoff.
Went to something else here.
Maybe you know how to run this.
I do not know how to run this. I'm down on the field yelling at kids. I don't.
We could go over the scoring, but it's all Wawasee. It was Parker in that first quarter. Ran for 2 yards for the touchdown. That would have actually been. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure out how to read this before we start talking stats here. Oh, there we go. Yeah.
Total offense, yeah. Wawasee 287 and Lakeland has 7 yards total offense.
Wow.
Plays are fairly even, 31 to 25, but we're just not getting anything done offensively.
Yeah, the Warriors 9.3 yards per play. Lakeland less than 1 at this point.
172 yards rushing and 115 yards passing in the first half.
Yep. So a little lopsided.
Which a lot of people blame that on the defense. Which there have been some defensive breakdowns, but if you can't get an offense going, well, then their offense is on the field,
right,
and gaining yards. So sometimes the best defense is the good offense.
That's true. Penalty yardage is 4 penalties against Wawasee for 55 yards. Lakeland, just 2 penalties for 10.
Yeah. The penalties would be the one thing that if I was Coach Redaboo that I would not be happy with, because they probably should have their touchdown on the board.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Without that penalty.
Right. Both teams fumbled and lost a fumble, 1 each on that. No interceptions tonight. And I believe you mentioned the receiving yards, 115 for Wawasee and Lakeland.
Most of that was on that one.
Oh, yeah, long pass to Salazar.
Long pass, yeah.
And, Wawasee leading at halftime, 28-0.
Yeah, they'll have the ball first, I believe.
Yes, I believe so. Lakeland.
So that'll be important thing. Win that first possession and make them punt, and then come back and see if you can get a couple first downs and build on that.
We'll take another break. We're about 4 minutes away from the start of the second half here at Lakeland High School. Our halftime score, Wawasee 28, Lakeland nothing. We'll be back right after this timeout. You want to commercial? Yeah. She'll probably be back, so I'll just leave it. Hey, we're back at Lakeland High School. Jerry Hostetler, Coach Keith Thompson. Good to have you along tonight. We'll be carrying Lakeland football's home games this year. Our next broadcast will be 2 weeks from tonight, right here at Laker Field as they host their intercounty rival, the Prairie Heights Panthers. A lot of other games going on tonight. Not sure whether I actually brought a schedule, but try to dig it out here. So, Coach, what are some of the better conference teams? I think you might have mentioned, well, Angola, of course, is always up there. And, of course, Churubusco, the next opponent next week down at Churubusco. That's going to be a tough one.
Yeah, Churubusco's playing Columbia City tonight, which I think is the first time they've ever played, or at least the first time they've played in a long, long time. It'll be interesting. Coach Sade, talked to him a couple weeks ago. He's kind of a Lou Holtz kind of guy where, they're never going to be any good, and then they go, 9-2. So, again, he said they're going to be down this year, so we'll see.
We'll see how they fare tonight against Columbia City. Central Noble's at West Noble tonight.
Central Noble at West Noble. It'll be interesting to see. West Noble graduated a very good senior class after a tremendous season. So it'll be kind of interesting to see what they have. Central Noble has a brand new coach. I think they have some kids back, so it'll be kind of interesting what they have. Prairie Heights is playing at Whitco, or they're playing at Whitco, who they've beaten the past 2 times. So maybe the Panthers will
get something going,
get a W on there. I believe Angola, I think, plays Leo, but I'm not positive.
Yeah, I don't see it on here. Yeah,
Angola plays Leo. I think Leo's supposed to be.
That's next week.
Oh, is that next week?
They play DeKalb tonight.
Oh, they play DeKalb tonight. DeKalb has a new coach also. DeKalb had the best season they've had in a long time last year, and I think Andy Thomas thinks that Angola's going to be pretty salty this year. So it'll be interesting to see what they.
DeKalb's 4A.
DeKalb's 4A.
Yeah.
And
that's over at Angola, so Angola has them on their home gridiron. Fremont's at Southern Wells tonight. That's a long road trip for them.
Yeah, I don't think that game's being. Southern Wells is playing a JV schedule.
I
believe. I'm not sure. Fremont, I think, is playing either. I think they're playing Adams Central, if I remember right.
Okay, same area or same territory.
Adams Central's really good. It's probably.
Yeah.
Heritage has a new coach. They have not been very good past couple of years. The East Side's supposed to be the best team in the NECC.
Oh, okay. So they're even supposed to be better than Busco?
Yeah, Busco, I'm not. They graduated a lot of kids.
Yeah.
But that coaching staff is good. So they get kids to play, and
so they could have all sophomores, and they wouldn't necessarily be be a loss.
We'll see. My biggest disappointment is that they're probably not going to have pork burgers next week down there. And
that's a problem.
And that's a problem for me. so that's the only reason I go to Churubusco is to get pork burgers.
Yeah, there's certain gyms that I've been to and football fields in the past that I look forward to just going there for the food.
Well, that's one of the things from retiring I was hoping to do. I was going to start rating concession stands on the broadcast? On Facebook, and so forth.
Yeah, there you go.
And unfortunately, everything's pre-packaged, which I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, we're going to have to wait till next year, I guess, when they get the regular concessions back and everything's back to normal.
Yeah, go down to Busco, go to the Magic Wand, and look at all the clowns, I guess.
Well, that'll be next week for the Lakers. They'll be on the road. And then the week after, as I mentioned, Prairie Heights will be here. And after that, let's see, it's Angola, I think.
Angola.
Yeah. And that will be at Angola.
That'll be here.
Is it?
I think, isn't it?
Well, if you played them there last year, it would be here.
I think we played them there.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, next week. Lakeland at Busco, and then Angola. This says Angola at Orchard Lake St. Mary's. Of course, I'm pulling this off the web, so that might not be accurate. I had a regular Laker schedule here. Both teams have emerged from their locker room, by the way, and we're getting set shortly for our second half kickoff. as Wawasee will be receiving the football to begin the second half, unfortunately for the Lakers. But if they can get a quick stop here, get their momentum back, should be in pretty good shape. We'll take a short break. We'll be back right after this 30-second timeout. I got to get myself organized here.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty is a full-service auction and real estate company serving northern Indiana and Michigan. We offer our clients years of combined experience, honesty, and trust, which gives you results.
At 1600, I have 15 now, but I'm on the game, but it gets 16 now. Down 30, now 30, down 25, 30, now 30, now 30, now 30, now 30, now 60, get down 25, 25, 35, 85, 75, 85, I get 35, 85.
Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty. We sell the earth and everything on it.
Like Garrett on the 11.
Oh, Garrett's in there. That's right.
And we're back at Lakeland High School. Lakeland and Wawasee getting in their warm-ups before we begin the second half of play here. Lakeland trying to dig out of a 28-0 hole as we begin the second half.
So let's see if the Lakers can win the first series here. Get something positive going.
Take it, as the cliche goes, one down at a time.
One down at a time, one series at a time.
Yeah. Jaron Fry has it teed up, ready to kick off to Wawasee. And they'll send back Meek, who's gotten into the scoring action. Well, no, that's Meek is number 5. This is number 6.
Number 6, Lucas Ringler.
There you go.
Jaron Fry set to kick off for the Lakers and deep to receive for the Warriors.
I would not be kicking it to Salazar.
Not a good idea.
Kick it to the linebacker.
Short, wobbly kick.
Oh,
spiraling,
they got to leave it.
And it was loose, it looked like, but Wawasee did recover.
Yeah, they had a shot. They had a shot.
So did he do that on purpose, or was it kind of shanked over here? It almost it almost looked like an onside kick.
We'll say he did it on purpose
there
to try to get some positivity going.
Let's do.
I'm not sure. Coach Shaco's talking to Jaron. So
probably not.
I don't know if it was on purpose or not, but they had an opportunity to get the ball, which would have.
That kick had a lot of old-fashioned English on it, spinning around. I mean, could have been very effective as an onside kick.
Have their power formation here.
Parker takes a snap, hands off, up the middle, Nathan Larson. Takes it to the 40-yard line.
About 5 yards.
So it'll be 2nd and 5 for Wawasee.
Nathan Larson on the carry.
Leo's having a good game.
Another tackle.
That's a 190-pound kid going against a 270-pound kid.
Young takes a snap. Pitch goes left side.
Quick pitch. Safety came inside.
Larson takes it down for first down yardage over the 50-yard line into Laker territory, down to about the 47 before he's tripped up.
Yeah, we lost outside leverage. Safety came inside, got.
We're going to mark it at the 49-yard line, so it'll be 1st and 10 for Wawasee from there.
Not sure what happened to the outside backer. He was AO. He was AWOL on that play.
Okay, let's see if the Laker defense can get a stop here. 1st and 10.
Is it Jet? Oh, bad
snap. Picked up by Young. Scrambles left side. Gets a couple of yards out of it before he stepped out of bounds. Well, actually got back to the line of scrimmage when he stepped out, so that'll be virtually no gain on the play. So it'll be 2nd down and 10 now for the Warriors.
He did make something out of a busted play.
He did.
So I think that was going to be a jet sweep to the wide side of the field.
Young breaks him out of the huddle.
They might be running a little bit of clock. They didn't come up very fast on.
Now we got a flag.
That has to be offense. I didn't see it. We didn't cross the neutral zone.
False start on Wawasee.
Yeah, they're back to those flags again.
Yep.
Coach Redabu is going to have a little conversation with them on Saturday about that, I have a feeling. No donuts for them in the morning.
Ball will be marked at the 46-yard line. 5-yard penalty against Wawasee, as I mentioned, a false start.
Of course, this yard line's the 45, 46, and 47, the way it's kind of crooked there.
Yeah. A little dip in the turf out there. Oh, in and out of the hands. The pass was intended to Jacob Meek on the right side, and he couldn't handle it. Couldn't pull it in, so it'll be a third down now. 15 for Wawasee.
Had a nice play fake and running an out route. Had him wide open and was thinking about running.
Yeah, it looked like he peeked upfield before he brought the ball in. Once again, Wawasee has a couple of receivers split wide right. Taking the snap is Young. He'll go right side on the pass again. That'll come to Nathan Larson, and he's tripped up.
It's a nice tackle to Deion Marshall.
Gets back to about the original line of scrimmage, a couple of yards short. So that's going to bring up a fourth down and about 11 or 12 for the Wawasee Warriors. They'll be forced to punt.
Yeah, that's a good job by the Lakers. They forced them to punt, get the ball back here, try to win each series, and build some positive.
Good stop by the Laker defense.
You think Coach O'Shea has some young kids here that are going to be football players. So you just got to
be patient.
Got to become juniors and seniors.
Yep. Dominic Blair takes the snap, gets the ball off on the punt.
Uh-oh.
And it goes right to the hands of Marshall, but I think he fell on it, so the Lakers will have the football right at the 30 or at the 25-yard line. And that's where they'll start their offensive drive.
He's got to squeeze those elbows.
So the players hear footprints or footsteps there coming toward him.
He may have looked up and to see what was coming at him, but he's got to squeeze those elbows and catch that ball. They got lucky there.
Yeah. Ball marked just inside the 25, right around the 24-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Lakers from there. Marshall in the shotgun. Once again,
going to run to the short side. Fumble snap.
And the run over the right side. The tackle there was at Maleva.
Marshall kept the ball.
Oh, okay.
He fumbled the snap. That was going to be a run to the short side. Coach O'Shea told me last night they were going to run away from their monster. They play the field. They put a monster to the strong safety to the wide side of the field, so they're a man short on the short side of the field. They used the boundary as the 12th man, and so his plan was to run to the boundary.
Gotcha.
That's what that play was going to be.
But it didn't transpire this time.
Wait, same play.
Marshall, now we've got flags again, either offsides or a false start. Oh, delay of game on Lakeland. So it'll be a 5-yard penalty against the Lakers. That'll take the ball back to the 20-yard line. Make it 2nd down and 14.
Oh, they called an illegal shift.
Oh, okay.
I was looking at the referee from profile. It looked like.
Yeah, sometimes it's hard to see exactly what they're calling.
Yeah, sometimes they're not sure what they're calling.
Have to think about it a while. 8:45 to go in the 3rd quarter.
They're bringing pressure.
Back to pass. Ball is in the air by Marshall. Intended for Bontrager and almost intercepted.
Almost intercepted.
On the defense there was Lucas Ringler for Wawasee, and now Braden Bontrager down on the field, shaking up on the play. He became a defensive player there Trying to break up and he did actually break up the interception, but now he's.
Ball was a little underthrown. Dion was under pressure. I think he has a cramp, would be my guess. And I'm assuming it's a cramp here of the Wawasee player.
Oh, both. Yeah, 2 players are down.
Which actually, I was expecting cramps in the first half.
I'm surprised to see him now.
And we also have a flag down, which I have no idea. It's on the line of scrimmage, so someone was offside. So would be my guess.
Mm-hmm. That's the territory. Penalties normally called in right at the 30. But they're tending to both players. It's going to take a little while here. We'll take a break, and we'll be back with more football right after this 30-second timeout. And we're back at Lakeland High School.
I think they picked that flag up. It's not.
Yeah, it looks like it. They're going to keep it there. So it'll be 2nd down and 5 at 30-yard line for Lakeland.
All right, so let's find a way to get 5 yards, get a first down.
That's right. Okay. And now Marshall, right over center, takes a snap. Handoff goes right side.
They had a tight end in the game. I think that's the first time tight end with a wing. Tried to get Malivon outside with a little extra man on the edge, lengthening the line of scrimmage.
3rd down, 5 now for the Lakers. No gain on the previous play.
Let's see if we go back to a hitch. Let's run a hitch here and get a.
Now Marshall back in the shotgun.
Yeah, they're going to run it.
Hand off to Malivon.
Oh, might be close to first down.
Very close. Might be about a half a yard short, but pretty close.
It's running behind Jaron Fry, a 3-year starter at right tackle, and Japheth Dominguez,
made a little hole for him there.
Sophomore thrown into the fray. They also got Jensen Miller at center, who started last year as a sophomore at center.
So they've got some experience. They're going to measure. It's close enough for the measurement.
Hopefully next week they'll get Miggy back, and he's played as a sophomore, so that's a 300-pound senior guard.
Big guy, yeah.
And if they get Bryce Allshouse back, it's a 190-pound fullback.
That's huge.
That'll help, and then
literally.
Yeah,
huge.
and then on defense they both. Allshouse was our leading tackler last year.
Wow, yeah.
So he's out, and then Colton. Getting Colton back, 2-year starter quarterback and 3-year starter at safety.
That could make a huge difference.
That's going to make a difference. Just from a leadership standpoint.
Right. About 6 inches short of the first down. What are we running here? A sneak?
Probably a sneak.
Marshall barks out the signal. He's going to hand
and
off.
I don't think they got it.
I don't think so. It doesn't look like it from our perspective. Mirabia's got the handoff that time, but it's going to be short, and it's going to be a turnover to Wawasee.
Yeah, they didn't get a push. Offensive line did not get the push they needed.
So the Warriors will start on the Lakers' 34-yard line. 7:35 to go in the third quarter. Wawasee leading it 28-0.
Coach O'Shea's out there barking at he doesn't like the spot.
Yeah, that's what it is, isn't it? That's what he's talking about.
He doesn't like the spot. Let's see if the defense can get a stop here.
Parker Young takes a snap.
This is the new running back.
Yes, it is.
And safety
22.
came inside.
Got some running room there.
Safety
the right
was
side.
unblocked and came inside. Evan Clark is down holding his knee.
Uh-oh. Number 55. That was a gain of about 7, a little over 7 yards on the carry.
There was Chase Dennis on that carry?
I believe so.
Because their running back went out with the cramp. Yeah.
I don't even have him on my depth chart here, so must be.
Yeah, 20. Nathan Larson went out with the cramp. And that looks like what Evan has, which is a good sign. If you've never had one of those cramps before, those things are horrible.
Yeah, they're horrible. Yeah.
First time you get one, you think someone shot you.
It's bad.
I saw they had jars of pickle juice in the locker room.
I guess that's a cure for cramps, right?
That's the miracle cure.
Or is it, well, it's a punishment too, I think, isn't it?
Yeah. last year, Aunt Patty, a huge bottle of pickle juice. I think it's probably still in the refrigerator. That's probably some sort of alcoholic beverage by now.
I would think so.
I don't know what kind of alcoholic beverage is made from pickles, but I don't think I want any.
Probably not. So there was a little break in the action there after the cramp. Clark comes back to the sidelines now, try to shake it off.
I think they may give them a water break here.
Yeah, looks like it. So far it's been all Wawasee, 28-0. All scores came in the first half of play here at Lakeland High School. Now let's see if the Laker defense can come through.
So we have Owen Troyer out here in the corner now. He had two picks last week against Woodland in the scrimmage.
In the scrimmage, that's great.
Yeah. He's an athlete. He's going to be a 20-foot long jumper.
Wow.
Or would have been as a freshman 20-foot long jumper. And so he's got some ability. And he's a nice kid from a nice family.
Good. Good coachable kid, I'm sure.
Yeah, he's a great kid.
Wawasee back ready to go offensively. Young takes a snap.
Oh.
Yeah, this time it's in and out of the hands.
That was incomplete.
Yeah, it was.
That should have.
It was a backwards pass.
It's not supposed to be. That's supposed to be a.
It's supposed to be just incomplete in high school.
I think that should have been incomplete, but I'm not looking down the line of scrimmage.
Okay. 7 minutes to go down to third quarter. 3rd and 9 for Wawasee on the loss.
That's the way to pad your passing stats, and basically it's just a sweep.
Wawasee, Young with the snap, looking downfield to throw. Now he does. He's hit right when he throws it, and it's going to be broken up. Good defense down there by
Is that Malivon?
Yeah, I think it is Malivon that did it. Yep.
It's a nice play. They have some young kids that are going to be players.
Yeah, he was right on him the whole time. Good coverage by Malivon. So that'll bring up a 4th and 9 now for Wawasee.
I'm not finding that player on the roster, the receiver there.
Yeah,
That's number 41, wasn't it? Yeah, it's number 41. Looks like a pretty tall kid. Malivon had to climb the ladder to get up there.
He did. He must have pretty good leaping ability as well.
He's an athlete.
Had good, strong legs. Timeout called now by Wawasee. Is they were going to go for it 4th and 9. Now they want to talk things over. We'll take a quick break here. We'll be back right after this message. Superior Rigging and Erecting in LaGrange is proud sponsor of Lakeland High School athletics. Lakeland grads and former Laker athletes Jared Weimer and Scott Harshberger love serving their community. and always hold a special place in our hearts for Laker athletics. See Jared and Scott at Superior Rigging and Erecting, just west of LaGrange on US Highway 20, or call them at 260-336-3225.
Hi, this is Trent Curtis, managing broker of Lakeland Realty in LaGrange. These are just a few of the homes and businesses that I have for sale or have recently sold. If you're thinking of selling, you couldn't have picked a better time. Inventory continues to be low and home prices are at all-time highs. Call me for a free market analysis and I can help you decide if the time is right for you. Should you decide to sell, you can count on me to expertly market your home and guide you through the selling process. Call or text me.
Young drops back to pass, 4th and 9. He's hit when he releases a football, and it's caught.
Touchdown.
For a touchdown.
Yeah, he's
yeah,
inbounds.
he was. They called it a touchdown. Adam Beer with the reception in the end zone. It looked like Young was hit right when he released it, but boy, he had some length on that pass.
I was going to look back, see who hit him, but I was watching to see if it was a touchdown or not and didn't see who the Lakeland player was.
Number 13, Adam Beer with the reception in the end zone. Well-thrown pass, especially under duress like that.
I believe this puts us, if he makes this, we're on a running clock.
Oh, 35 to nothing.
I think.
6:26 to go in the third quarter.
That was a new rule put in last year. Not a favorite of mine, but
yeah, I'm sure not. Wouldn't think most coaches would be in favor of that. Kick is up on the point after, and it's good.
Yeah, it makes it difficult to get the other kids in the, those JV kids and so forth, because you only have so many quarters. You can only play them 6 quarters a week, 5 quarters a week actually, and they have a game tomorrow.
Oh wow!
Tomorrow morning at Wawasee, and you want to get those kids in the game.
Sure.
And get them. They practice. They deserve to come out here on Friday nights and get to play, and that's what develops your depth. And then you get a running clock, and it makes that a little tougher.
Sure. So now the official's pointing up to the clock, and he's motioning that, running clock. So you're absolutely right, Coach. Clock will just keep running. 6:26, and as soon as the ball is snapped, I guess it's when the clock. No, it's starting right now.
Yeah. And it will not stop unless there's an injury, I believe.
Wow. Yeah, that's a rule that, like you said, it was just implemented, last year, you said?
Implemented last year, and we scored 83 points on Prairie Heights several years back, and I was actually physically sick after that. I was so upset that happened, and because you don't like to do that, but up by 35.
35 points, yeah.
Yep.
So 6:14 right now. It's not running. 35 to nothing. Wawasee, and they'll be kicking off. Yeah, maybe that's it.
Maybe they have to kick it, though.
Caleb Clevenger getting set to kick off. Ball is in the air. And past Marshall. He gathers it in around the 15-yard line. And he's going upfield now, breaking a couple of tackles. He's going to take it all the way across the 40-yard line. He's finally brought down around the 41. Good run back by Deion Marshall.
Deion Marshall is an athlete. He has some good football games coming in his future.
On that play, of course, you see that quite a lot in football. When maybe a punt or something is muffed or a kickoff,
it throws off.
Exactly. And that might have benefited, not to take anything away from the athletic ability of Deion Marshall, but you see that so much where it throws out the timing of the defense. Marshall has them ready to go now. Deion barking out the signals. Low snap, picks it up. Now he'll roll right, looking downfield, and he hits his receiver.
Shifley.
Good catch by
Got a first
Shifley.
down there.
And a big first down for Lakeland down to the 41-yard line in Wawasee territory.
You know, sometimes when you have a fumbled snap like that, the defense stops. And that might have been the case there. They lost Shifley. Of course, if he turns sideways, you might lose him in the lights.
True. That timing aspect can come into play on a play like that.
So.
1st and 10 for the Lakers. Clock continuing to run, 4:54 to go in this third quarter.
Trips into the boundary.
Dion right side. Ball is in the air. Overthrows intended for Braden Bontrager.
Marshall's pass intended for Braden Bontrager. Incomplete.
A little too much moxie on that.
Yes, he did.
But
2nd and 10.
He gets outside the pocket, and he's going to be a problem.
He's got a good arm.
He's got a good arm, and he's got good legs.
Yes, he does.
It's a good combination.
Well, yeah, you were referring to his legs if he gets outside.
Yeah.
Exactly, yeah.
He throws the ball well on the run, which some quarterbacks don't do.
Well, that's why I thought he showed a very good arm there because he was moving, yeah.
This is an illegal formation.
So that'll be a penalty against Lakeland.
Timeout.
Oh, okay. So it was before the flag was thrown.
Yeah. We had a split in, not on the line of scrimmage. I assume that's what the...
So they do stop the clock for a timeout, it appears. Which would make sense, I guess, right?
Yeah, we have an injury timeout.
Oh, I see now, yeah. Another cramp, it looks like. So that type of the cramps probably kind of dissipate as the season progresses and it gets cooler, right?
Usually, week 1 you have cramps, and maybe week 2, and they tend to go away after that. So, a lot of what kind of diet are they eating? How much salt and potassium are they getting in their system?
Right.
And those sorts of things, and staying hydrated throughout the week is not an easy thing. These kids all drink these energy drinks and caffeine, and my son hates to drink water.
Yeah.
And he's in the Marine Corps and drinks energy drinks all the time. And
wow. Yeah. It seems like that's bad on kids.
Yeah. Then they wonder why they cramp up.
We had, when I was in high school, they called it jungle juice, and it was basically, I think, homemade Gatorade, but we drank that, and it had a lot of salt in it. Whatever I don't know.
They
had some
Amish chemist.
No, what Amish? Didn't have anything to do with Amish, but it was they'd get this powder. Yeah, maybe it was. Who knows? They called it jungle juice. That's all I know, and it tasted bad. But it was good for you.
I don't remember jungle juice. That must have been a northern Indiana thing.
It tasted like Gatorade. I think that was probably a...
Oh, you got to sit. He's got to sit in the window.
Marshall's pass intended for Mark Belulu.
Incomplete, so it'll be 3rd down and 10. And what did you say about the window? I got to get these terms down.
Yeah, they're playing a zone there, and
okay.
And he ran a little, I'm not sure if it was supposed to be a curl, but a little Y route inside to the hash. And if he would have sat right there on the hash and presented himself to the quarterback, he was open. But he kept going and ran right. He ran to the
right
safety.
Into the defense.
He ran right into the safety.
Yeah.
There was a window there between the outside linebacker and the safety.
Gotcha. Marshall has his team down. Takes his snap. Looking to pass over the left side.
Hey, they're not.
Yeah, now we have a flag on a play.
I think they're going to call motion on Berlew here, maybe.
He got a head start, it looked like, on the left side.
Yeah, there was some funky movement going on. Pass interference. Oh, really?
Oh, guess what? Let's see. So I didn't see any contact, but then maybe it was prior to the pass being thrown. Must have been contact.
Well, there is
way.
no pass interference in high school before the pass is thrown.
Oh, okay.
That's a rule that a lot of people in the stands get confused when they're
Well, yeah, when I'm used to watching college and,
and high
and
school,
pro football,
there is no pass interference.
Well, the referee saw it.
Well, I'm not sure what he. You know, what I usually tell them if I'm on the winning, actually, if I'm on either side of a game like this, is that, you don't call any penalties. The quicker we get to go home. And the quicker you can go out to eat after the game.
There you go.
Here's a wheel route.
Marshall intercepted. Wawasee with the interception, taking it up to about the 37-yard line there.
We ran a wheel route with the inside receiver. Outside receiver ran a post, and he put the ball right in between the two of them. He underthrew him.
Hayden DeMint with the interception for Wawasee, and he brings it back to right around the 36-yard line.
You got to throw that ball to the sideline where the only person that can catch that is your receiver, or it goes out of bounds.
Yeah.
An incompletion's not a horrible thing.
Right.
So let's see if we can get a stop here and get the ball back. Get some points on the board.
Yeah, it'd be nice to put a crooked number up there. Nearing the 1 minute mark now to go in the third quarter. Wawasee 35, Lakeland 0. Wawasee with their bright gold helmets. Snap. Pitch back. This time goes
There's
to
Leo.
Salazar. And
Leo coming from the backside.
Leo with the tackle at the 35-yard line. A loss of about a yard on the play. Good defense.
Leo's having a good game.
You got to lead the Lakers in tackles, right?
Well, it seems like it, but
I think so. It seems that way up here.
Yeah, from up here, it's hard to figure out tackles sometimes.
That's true. Two split wide right, handoff.
Yeah, there we go.
And another.
Who was that?
No gain on the play.
Was that Johnny Wright?
On the tackle. John Wright?
Well, I'm not sure. Well, he was.
Tackle by 35, Carlos Espino.
Oh, Carlos Espino was there. I thought someone was there in the front side. I couldn't.
And 79,
Let's see. Oh.
So we had it's the end of the quarter. I thought they were marching off a penalty. I didn't see any yellow flags out there. So we've come to the end of the third quarter here at Lakeland. We'll be back with fourth quarter action with our score 35-0. Wawasee leading Lakeland. Back after this.
The Lighthouse started as a community collaboration to impact families that have a need for childcare within our state. The Lighthouse Center is going to be located in Ashley, Indiana, in a community center building.
And we're back at Lakeland High School. As we begin the fourth quarter of play, we have a running clock now due to the score, 35-0. Wawasee leading Lakeland in the first game of the 2020 season. Snap is taken.
There's Johnny Wright putting pressure.
Rolling left, passes in the air, and it's incomplete. Intended for Adam Beer. Falls incomplete, so it'll be 2nd and 10 now for Wawasee.
Jeremiah Hart passed defending that. I thought he might have been a tad early. On that. 2 plays ago, Alex Pelham made that tackle. I call him kayak because when he was a freshman, we went kayaking, and he's just going along, and I'm behind him in my kayak, and his kayak just sank out of nowhere. it just sank. And there was only like 3 feet deep, so he's like sitting in the kayak, and he's like, "Well, what happened?" And, you sunk.
Yeah.
And it happened to him a couple times I've never seen. So I call him kayak. I'm not sure what what that means.
That's a good nickname. I could see why it'd be that after that incident. He must have gotten too much water in his kayak.
Well, it might have been too much weight in there.
Well, there you go.
I don't know what the kayak was rated for.
Yeah.
It happened a couple times. It was the darndest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah, fortunately the water was, you weren't in rapids or you weren't out west.
I don't know if he can swim or not, but a good thing.
That could have been bad news.
Just stand up, Alex.
Break of the action here. Go ahead, Coach.
Now we got a punt coming here.
Yep. 4th and 10, so Wawasee will bring their punter out. Their punter is Dominique Blair.
Looks like we're starting to get some white jerseys here, so they're going to start subbing. I think they had a couple offensive linemen in last play that did not play in the first half.
Punt is in the air. Line drive punt.
Oh.
In and out of the hands of Troyer, and it's loose on the field and picked up by Wawasee. No, Lakeland. Lakeland got it, didn't they? No, it was Wawasee.
Got it.
Yep.
And that punt is recovered by the Warriors.
Was that?
That was Owen Troyer.
Owen, yeah.
Lakeland, 34-yard line.
Tried to short hop it and bounced off his chest, it looked like.
It's kind of in that in-between hop, and
right.
Might have been one of those cases where maybe he should have let it go. Of course, when they do that, coaches yell at them, though, because that's hidden yardage that a lot of people don't account for.
Yeah.
Is how many yards that ball bounces after they kick it, after it hits the ground.
That's true. Could have been downed way back, deep in Wawasee territory.
They still got their quarterback in, and
yeah, the starters are all in there.
They're running draw,
quarterback draw, up to the 26-yard line for Parker Young. Well, you said he likes to run. Maybe you haven't seen as much of it this year as we did last year. Couple of players coming up.
Yeah, we got some cramps here at Spino and Burlew, it looks like.
So they'll stop the clock for the cramped players on the field. Espino is coming off under his own power, but he's in some pain there, you can tell.
I am a little surprised we didn't have cramps in the first half, especially with the summer the way it went.
Yeah. So a Laker down on the field. Yeah, we might as well take a quick break here, Dan. 30 seconds. We'll be back right after this. Burlew has made his way off the field after cramping up. Wawasee with the football on the fumble recovery.
Another draw,
quarterback draw.
He might be gone.
Yeah, Young has some running room, and he gets it all the way inside the 5-yard line, all the way down to about the 3.
Parker Young on the quarterback keeper.
Coach Redaboo is trying to build some positive.
Yeah.
Quarterback sneak.
And he's in, it looks like. Yep. Another touchdown for Wawasee on the quarterback keeper by Parker Young. And he takes it into pay dirt. And 6 more points on the board for the Wawasee Warriors, bringing them to a 41-0 lead over Lakeland. As we mentioned, we have a running clock here now with the score. Deficit of 35 or more, right, Coach?
That's correct.
So Wawasee will try the PAT now, try to stretch their lead out to 42 zip. We'll remind you next week, Lakeland will travel down to Churubusco. We'll be covering all of Lakeland's home games. So the next home game will be 2 weeks from tonight, right here, of course, at Lakeland against Prairie Heights. PAT is good, 42-0. Wawasee with the lead. We'll be back with the Wawasee Kickoff right after this.
Night to Shine is a prom for those with special needs 14 and older, sponsored by the Tim Tebow Foundation and held worldwide on the same night every February. LaGrange First Church of God is honored to be a host church for this amazing event, celebrating 5 years this coming February. We would like to thank the businesses who give so generously every year to make this night possible. We truly could not do it without your support. We also want to thank the hundreds of volunteers who served that evening. Be sure and check out our Facebook page at Night to Shine LaGrange, Indiana on how you can get involved and help be the light.
Couple athletes.
We're back at Lakeland High School, ready to resume action now as Wawasee will kick off to Lakeland. It's been all Wawasee tonight. In the first game of the 2020 season in this really weird year with COVID.
I'm not sure. There we go.
Clevenger will kick off.
And number 6, Holshifley.
I think we've had the weird COVID year, and Lakeland's 2020 hasn't gotten any better with all the injuries and
yeah, no kidding,
and sickness and everything they've had the past couple weeks.
A lot going against them here tonight. Kickoff.
There's Owen
That's Troyer. He'll take it over the 35, over to the close to the 40, down around the 38-yard line before he's brought down.
Owen Troyer takes the kickoff.
Let's see if we can get something to build on for something positive leading to practice this week.
That brings up first and 10 Lakers.
Next week it sounds like it's going to be another hot one here in northern Indiana as far as the weather's concerned.
Tuesday and Wednesday is supposed to be 92. I think Friday's supposed to be 90.
Maybe, I think thunderstorms by next weekend. Hopefully not on Friday night for the football game, but
it's nothing worse than rain on a Friday night.
Yeah, I bet too. Lakeland with the football. Deion Marshall at quarterback. The absence of Colton Isaacs. Loss on a play. Livon brought down right around the 31-yard line. We're going to mark it about the 32, so it'll be a loss of a couple on the play. Second down and 11. Sorry, I'm off on my yardage here. Thanks, Dan, our engineer, reminded me it's a 37-yard line. Coach, you probably knew that, though.
Well, I was thinking about we had a young offensive lineman show and pull that, so I knew that was going to be a run.
Oh, okay.
And I know he got scolded in practice yesterday for doing the same thing.
So chances are he'll get scolded again. Marshall back to pass, and he hits Bontrager off the right side, gets it up just over the 40-yard line.
It's a good tackle on a big kid there by number 6.
Undercut him a little bit, got him out of bounds.
Lucas Ringler.
Third down and around 7. Yeah, about 8, we'll call it.
You get a good coaching staff, they'll pick up those linemen change their stances, whether it's a pass or if they're pulling, and they'll find those on film, and if they have good kids on the field, they'll call those out during the game. And some we've had kids we can call out from the sidelines what they're going to do.
Wow. Rolling left is Marshall. Evades a couple of would-be tacklers, but he threw it up, and fortunately, it wasn't intercepted because it went right through the hands of the would-be interceptor there.
That might be one where he should have pulled it down and seen what his legs can do.
Yeah, there wasn't much, but
they threw it across. Rule number 1 for quarterback: don't throw it back across the middle. And that's what he did.
Jaron Fry in to punt for Lakeland. He'll be kicking from his own 28-yard line. There'll be timeout on the field. 6 minutes, 10 seconds to go in this ball game. Lakeland trailing 42-0. We'll be back right after this.
I got someone.
Always shining brighter into others. Here at LaGrange First Church of God, we always try to put light into dark places by loving and caring for one another. We all have experienced hurts, habits, or hang-ups, but we serve an almighty God who cares for us and loves us. And He can do immeasurably more than we could ever ask or imagine. If you're interested in connecting with us, check out our app, our website, or find us on Facebook. We hope to see you Sunday.
Becoming a licensed sports official is a great way to make a positive difference in the community and support the over 160,000 Indiana student athletes that participate across 22 IHSAA sports. Sports officiating allows you to stay connected to the game, become a role model for our young student athletes, earn extra money, and support the patrons and communities of our IHSAA member schools. To learn more about becoming a licensed IHSAA official, log on to ihsaa.org/officials today.
Back at Lakeland High School, getting ready to punt is Lakeland's Jaron Fry, a senior. He'll be punting from the 27, 28-yard line. Flags on the play. False start.
I was
Offside.
coughing. I didn't see it.
Like they're going to mark it off against Lakeland. Somebody must have moved. Or maybe not.
I don't know.
They're still deciding. Oh. Try to sneak a 12th player out there. And it's their quarterback.
After a timeout, you got to have too many. That's not a. So we didn't have enough before the timeout, and they have too many after the timeout. It all works out, doesn't
I
it?
guess. So Fry now will be punting from about the 33-yard line. Kick is off.
That's a good kick.
Yeah, it's about his best of the night for Jaron.
Catch.
Yeah,
Get away from it.
Wawasee bounce, but it's down by Troyer. Around the 30, yeah, just short of the 30. About the, 29-yard line.
We should be getting, I would think, at this point in the game. It looks like we got a new quarterback.
I was expecting that a little bit sooner, but their backup is Jacob Meek, who's also a receiver, but I don't. Oh, it's number 2.
This is number 2.
Yeah.
Jackson Brown.
No. So he's got his own band, right?
He's got his own band. I was actually just thinking that.
Jackson Brown. He'll provide entertainment after the game, huh?
Our young viewers probably have no idea what we're talking about.
They probably don't.
I'm sure.
So Jackson Brown has the plays on his forearm there. Checks it out. Calling out the signals. His first snap of the night. Handoff goes to the running back, and he gets it over the 30-yard line down to about the 32-yard line. That's that 22, and I don't have.
Dennis Chase.
Chase with the
Chase
carry.
Dennis. Chase Dennis.
Chase Dennis, okay.
He has 2 first names.
Right. .450 and counting in this ball game. Coach, what do you do on Saturday after a ball game like this?
Well, you gotta be positive and find something to build on, because you have 9 more football games at least. And,
right.
And you gotta, they're gonna watch film and look at the mistakes and try to stay positive, which isn't the easiest thing to do from a coaching standpoint. But
penalty on a play. It's going to go against Wawasee. It'll be a 10-yard penalty.
this isn't a case of, lack of effort or it's lack of experience and some players that need to grow and become varsity football players, and they're just going to have to be patient and stay positive and keep working at it.
Snap, hand off to Chase, and he takes it up over the 30 again. Around right on the 30-yard line.
Chase Dennis, the ball carrier.
Gain of about a yard on the play, so it'll be 2nd down and 9.
We still got some.
3rd down and 9, rather.
We got Keegan Schlaball out there, I believe. Yeah, Keegan Schlaball's out here at safety, number 83. Got Jeremiah Hart at corner.
Handoff again, up the middle. Not much of a gain, if any, on that play for Wawasee. Once again, it's Chase Dennis with a carry. Fourth down, 9 yards to go for Wawasee. They're going to punt. 2.5 minutes to go in the ball game.
Always makes, when you start subbing, get injuries, getting the right people on the field for special teams becomes a challenge. A lot of moving parts there that difficult to keep track of sometimes.
Sure. Troyer lets it go, and it's down inside the 30-yard line. So the Lakers will take possession there with just a few ticks over 2 minutes to go in this game. Glad you could join us tonight. We're sorry for our technical issues, but I think we pretty much have those straightened out, or will have, by the Prairie Heights game in a couple of weeks. So I heard my earphones that our second half has been good, and I'm glad we could bring you the coverage of this ball game tonight. And we'll be looking forward to being back here in a couple of weeks for the Prairie Heights Lakeland game. Marshall still in a quarterback. He'll roll right side, find some running room, gets to the 40, and he steps out of bounds just shy of midfield. Nice run there by the young quarterback, Dion Marshall.
Those outside blockers got to keep those hands inside. Those are everybody in the stands and their grandmother and aunt and uncle can see can see holding there, let alone the blind guy in stripes.
Inside a minute now to go in the ball game. Marshall takes a snap. He'll roll left.
Got to
looks downfield. Now he scrambles.
Yeah.
He's going to have a first down, and he's forced out of bounds around the 40-yard line.
That's a good job. Really wasn't anybody open, and
tucked it in and took off.
They ran that play last time, and they threw that pick, and learned. That's a good sign.
Yeah,
that's
true.
a good sign for the young kid.
Sometimes it takes an interception to kind of wake or learn something. You learn something from something bad.
I don't know. My quarterback in high school didn't learn from it. He must have set the world record for interceptions. I don't know how many he threw.
So we've come to an end of this ball game, probably mercifully for Lakeland. Not a good start to the season, but a lot of injuries, illness. Lakers will be back. Final score here tonight, Wawasee 42, Lakeland 0. We'll be back to wrap things up from Lakeland High School right after this timeout.
You have a story to tell. It may be your product, it might be your business, or it may be the biggest day of your entire life. story to tell. And we want to help you tell that story. Ripcord Media Production.
Back at Lakeland High School, our final score here tonight, Wawasee defeats Lakeland by a score of 42-0. Coach, your assessment of tonight's game?
Well, a lot of learning opportunities, and that's what they got to use it as. Be positive and point out the mistakes. And the most improvement a team usually makes is between week 1 and week 2. And there's a lot of bright spots, I thought, from those. We have some young kids that down the road, may not be this season, but they're going to be some players. And if we get some, Colton Isaacs will be back next week, I assume. And I know Miggy De La Paz is going to be back, and hopefully Allshouse is back, and that'll make a difference.
Oh, it has to, yeah.
That'll make a difference, but we got to stay positive and build on the learning opportunities here. I've been on this side more than I care to be, and it eats up coaches, I think, more than players.
Oh, I'm sure.
Kids are resilient, and coach has got to go home and watch the film tonight, and after washing the uniforms, and then come in the morning, look at the film again, and then you gotta. It is what it is, but you got to put it in the grind, and then you got to start preparing for Busco and find some positive ways to go down to Turtletown.
One thing tonight, Deion Marshall got some snaps, of course, at quarterback, and maybe that'll pay off down the road if Isaacs runs into an injury later on or something like that. I mean, you got that game experience tonight.
It's which is sometimes difficult to get for young kids, getting that game experience in, especially when the game matters.
Right.
But getting into a varsity game, that's going to help him down the road, and he may get some opportunities later on the season, or Colton's going to graduate this year, and it'll pay off next year.
There you go. We'll see what happens, but next week they're back in action, and down at Cherubusco on the road. Typically a tough environment to play in, but like you said, Coach, they're rebuilding, so. Yeah. Maybe it's a.
I don't know if they rebuild. They're reloading.
Yeah, that's what they say about those good programs.
Those kids down there breathe diesel smoke, and I don't know how they eat shotgun shells or something. I don't know what they do with those kids, but
maybe it's that magic wand.
Maybe it's the magic wand. They have to go look at those clowns, and it grows them into these huge kids with tattoos and. Beards at 13.
They always seem to have a good football team down there. So that'll be a tough task for them. But the Lakers, I'm sure, will be ready to get back at it next Friday night down there.
They'll be better next week.
Right.
They'll be better next week.
And we'll be back with our streamcast of Laker football in a couple of weeks from now against Prairie Heights right here at Lakeland High School. And if you didn't hear, we're going to be broadcasting the Laker home games this year. So we hope that if you can't make it out to the game, or if things don't change now or they're limiting the capacity of the crowd, please join us here at LaguanaMedia.com. We're glad you could join us here tonight. Appreciate Coach Thompson, you joining us this year and helping us out.
I should have done this years ago. The fans have been happy.
I doubt that. You were a winning coach, and I think they loved you here. So
yeah.
I wouldn't say that. So thanks, and I'll look forward to seeing you in a couple of weeks. Tonight's game was brought to you by the following organizations and businesses. LaGrange Church of God, located on North Detroit Street in LaGrange. By Grog Martin Auctioneers and Realty. They sell earth and everything on it. By Antera Credit Union, with their branch in LaGrange opening soon. Also by Fur May Funeral Home, helping you to honor the cherished memory of your departed loved one. By Lakeland Realty. When you're ready to sell your home, call broker Trent Curtis at 260-350-4477. Also by Ripcord Media Production. They are storytellers, and they want to tell your story. By Coldwell Banker, the real estate group, Noel Frost Broker. Call Noel at 260-585-4112. And our platinum and halftime sponsor this year is Superior Rigging and Erecting. See owners and former Laker alums and athletes Scott Harshberger and Jared Weimer for your next building project. They love serving their community and always hold a special place in their heart for Lakeland athletics. Once again, thanks for joining us here tonight. From Lakeland High School, our final score, once again, Wawasee 48, Lakeland 0. Glad you could join us. For our engineer tonight, Dan Byler, our cameraman, Andrew Byler, color commentator tonight, former coach, Keith Thompson. This is Jerry Hostetler. Good night, everyone.